Good evening, everybody. Let's see who we got all in the house tonight. We have Texan, we have Rebecca, Cecilia, Michael, Jay, Evans. That's it so far. So how's everybody doing tonight? And yeah, it's just me. So as you can see by your screen, I've already got it pretty much laid out. We'll give it just a few more minutes for others to show up and join us. If not, we'll just get started anyway. I suppose I could change that to something a little more. Oops, hold on. Here we go. There. We'll put that one up. Hey, Ryan. So I'll put that in front of my face so I can see it better. And don't worry, I can still see chat. So, seeing as how there's 6 of us here, we'll go ahead and get started. I was listening to a couple different preachers this morning, and one word came to me, and it was the word awake, or to be awoke. And so I just did a quick word study on the word awake. And it's in the Bible just a couple times. I'm not going to name the numbers. You guys can go search that out. That way you don't take my word for it. You figure it out on your own, which is the best way to learn. That being said, I titled it Awake. Awake, Zion. Clothe yourself in strength. Let me grab a drink real quick. And that is actually a biblical verse. So rather than you guys having to look at me ugly mug while we're doing this, we'll just go to full screen. That's not as much as I'd like, but so there are several things in the Bible that tell us to be awake. And there are warnings for those who will not be awoke. Or actually, there are some that won't be awoke, because the Bible says that God will harden the hearts of those needed for his will to be done. And key reference for that would be Moses in Egypt, where the Pharaoh's heart was hardened 10 times. The 11th time he finally relented. But that just goes to prove there's a biblical precedent in what I'm fixing to say. And as you can see, I've got Bible verses backing up what I'm fixing to say. Oh, it's not just that one, Cecilia. There's others. But there are those who will not be awoke. Job 14:11-13. Of course, this is from the NIV because it makes it easier for some people to understand it, and I have no problem with that. As a water lake dries up, or a riverbed becomes parched and dry, so he lies down and does not rise. Till the heavens are no more, people will not awake or be roused from their sleep. That's saying that there are those who will die in their sin because they made the choice not to call upon the Lord and repent. Jeremiah 51:39. But they that are aroused, I will set out a feast for them and make them drunk, so that they shout with laughter, then sleep forever and not awake, declares the Lord. And there he's talking about leaders. In this particular case, he was talking about people against Jerusalem, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. because I forgot to add my other notes over here. Excuse me. Jeremiah 51, 56 to 58. And the destroyer will come against Babylon. Let's see. It goes right back to it. I guess I did put my other notes. No, I didn't reread these. I put it together early this morning, about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Anyway, a destroyer will come against Babylon. Her warriors will be captured and their bows broken. For the Lord is a God of retribution. He will repay in full. I will make her officials and wise men drunk, her governors and officers and warriors as well. They will sleep forever and not awake, declares the King, whose name is the Lord Almighty. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Babylon's thick walls are leveled, her high gates set on fire. The peoples exhaust themselves for nothing. Their nation's labor is only fuel for the flames. And that kind of symbolizes what's going to happen to a lot of nations on this planet when Jesus comes back. There are those who are going during the tribulation time going to curse God because of the severity of the plagues that this earth will endure during that time. And they themselves, as you can see, that in just these few verses right here, they won't be awoke. Close that out real quick. And there are also some warnings from Daniel 12:2. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. Also talking about the end of times when at the great white throne judgment, there are those who are asleep that will be woken, and some will get to enjoy everlasting life, while others will go down to the burning pits of Sheol or hell. Proverbs 20:12 and 13. Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both. Do not love sleep or you will grow poor. Stay awake and you will have food to spare. Kind of fits right now too, don't it? As preppers, we're already awake, so we already knew to have food ready. And in this situation that is currently going around, we have food to spare. So, I mean, that kind of fits us as we are right now today. But it's also letting us know that we will face tribulations. Psalm 55:22 to 24. Lord, you have seen this. Do not be silent. Do not be far from me, Lord. Awake and rise to my defense. Contend for me, my God, my Lord. Vindicate me in your righteousness, Lord, my God. Do not let them gloat over me. And that's, talking about, King David was talking about his enemies there, but that relates to us in the future tense as well, for during the persecution of the Christians and the saints during the 7-year tribulation. And there will be Christians during the tribulation period. Don't let anybody tell you there's no such thing as Christians during the tribulation. The Bible clearly says that 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Judah will be marked by the Lord himself to go out and minister. And during that time, those 144,000 will be untouched, and they will bring in new Christians, some of whom will be the martyrs that are pictured in the book of Revelations, who were themselves beheaded. Okay, so don't let anybody tell you there will be no Christians during the tribulation period. The Bible says exactly opposite of that. But we also have promises. Isaiah 52:1 through 3. Awake, awake, Zion, clothe yourself with strength. Put on your garments of splendor, Jerusalem, the holy city. The uncircumcised and defiled will never enter you again. Shake off your dust. Rise up, sit enthroned, Jerusalem. Free yourself from the chains of your neck, daughter Zion, now captive. For this is what the Lord you're saying. You were sold for nothing, and without money you will be redeemed. And Jesus is our Redeemer. So that right there just kind of fits ever so beautifully. And we're getting near the end of it, and then I'll open it up to chat. 1 Thessalonians 5:5 through 7. You are the children of the light and the children of the day. We do not belong to the night or the darkness. So then, let us not be like the others who are asleep, but let us be awake and sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night. And those who get drunk at night. And continuing on to 5 and 9. Excuse me. For God did not appoint us to suffer the wrath. Excuse me. Dinner's coming back to bite. Anyway, God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us so that, whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, I encourage one another to build each other up, just as in fact you are doing, which is kind of what I'm trying to do, sort of, kind of given a directive there, and that's what I'm trying. And Revelation, from the last book in the Bible. And Jesus says right here, look, I come like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake and remains clothed, so as to not to go naked and be shamefully exposed. So now you get to look at me again. Yay! And let's see. Anybody else come in? Well, I see 9 people in here, but I don't see 9 talking. So let's open it up to questions. Any have questions? This also kind of fits in with what I've been trying to get across lately as far as watchman on the wall being there to sound the alarm. If you're awake, you can sound the alarm. If you're sleeping on the wall, you're not doing your job, to put it bluntly. And as we are called and asked to do, we're not told to do it, we're asked to do it. And let's make sure we get that distinction correct. We are asked to go out and preach the word. We are asked to go out and minister. It is a commandment, yes. Hi, Blue. But that being said, it's not a direct order to the point where, you have to do it. You don't have to. It's your choice, but you will suffer the consequences for not doing it. That's laid out in the Bible. The continuity of government went underground. When? Rebecca, without naming them, yes, I fully do. There are churches who blaspheme against God. They say good things are evil and evil things are good. You've got some preachers that deliberately leave out the fact that the only way to salvation is through repentance of sins. And they won't preach that. You have other preachers that sit there and say, you can be a little God too. You've got some preachers that say, give me your money and I'll see to it you get to heaven. Well, for one, they can't do that. They're not Jesus. They're not God. They can't guarantee you your place in heaven. So sending them your money is just being foolish. Unless, of course, you can guarantee it is actually going to help someplace that actually needs it. My personal opinion, if you're going to give money to a church, give it to a local church, a church you trust, a church that's open about their finances. And as long as they're open about their finances, then feel free. But if it's a church that uses its money to line the pastor's pockets and not do the ministry, then no, I don't. I would recommend not donating to that church and finding a new one. And yes, Michael, it's in the Bible that in the end days, preachers will be there to tickle the ears of those that are in their congregation, because people do not want to hear the word of God. Those teachers, as they're very loosely called, are blasphemy. They're false teachers. They change the word of God to suit their environment so they can keep breaking in that moolah. Right, and that's wrong. Some churches don't do communion because they don't want to offend somebody. You know what? I've never found anywhere where it says, do not do this so it doesn't offend somebody. I haven't found that in here. If somebody can find in this book, and it's the Bible, just so you know, if you can find a spot in here where it says, please don't do these things so you don't offend people, I am all willing to read it and research it. I've never found it. Matter of fact, I haven't found it in any religious book of any religion. So, that's just going there. Good grief. I can hear the kids outside. Yay. I hope you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. So going back to the whole watchman on the wall thing, as Jesus said, we are the wild branch. We're the Gentiles grafted into the house of God, grafted into the house of Israel. As such, we are now part of Israel. So people who claim that displacement theology is wrong. Okay. Which is why people keep saying, well, there's no Christians in the book of Revelations. No, because the distinction disappeared when Jesus said we are grafted into the house of Israel. Yes, there was mention made by Paul and a few others of Gentiles. But Jesus himself said, Gentiles are the wild branch, Jewish people are the native branch. He grafted the two together. Therefore, they are one. Now, he also stated that he can also remove the wild branch at his choosing. So let us not be complacent in our facts that, just because we're Christians, it's true we are Christians, but we are actually part of Israel. And that's biblical. Do some research. Right. What she's saying, Texan, is there are some churches that just don't do it no more. And getting back to the church and Revelations, nowhere did in the very beginning of the book of Revelations, in chapter 2 to the 7 churches of Asia, I don't remember it saying Christian church. I remember Laodicea, Philadelphia, Corinth. I don't remember saying this Christian church or this Gentile church. He just named the churches. He made no distinction between Jew and Gentile. Again, another point toward it's all being one. Therefore, when it says in the rest of the book of Revelations, it talks about people being beheaded for their testimony and their faith in the Lord, that goes to Christians and Jews both, not just one. And that's the way I understand the Bible, and that's coming at it from both a secular as well as a Hebraic, a Messianic Jew's perspective, looking at it from as many different views as possible. Because sometimes God's gift to me, my analytical brain, I tend to overthink and overdo things. And research is one of those things I have a tendency to overdo. But, so there will be Christians in the tribulation period. They are the martyrs who were beheaded, it states in the Bible. But as Christians right now, as watchmen, as people of Israel, grafted into the house of Israel, and we are told what signs to watch for in Matthew, as well as another place. We are given the signs to watch for, and it is our calling to sound that horn and say, look, I'm seeing something y'all need to be aware of. We need to reach out to our friends and our family. And you're going to run up against opposition. Might even be made fun of. And if things get a whole lot worse, you might even get turned in. It says in the Bible, Father against son, daughter against mother, neighbor against neighbor. People will turn each other in for gain. In other words, they're going to do it for profit. You know, Jesus said the world hated him, so they're going to hate us too. So, I mean, there's nothing for us to be scared of. Obviously, Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. As well as Sermon on the Mount, Michael. Of course, that's probably what you're referring to, too. I felt the verses in front of me. I'm not surprised. There's actually several places all over the U.S. that have guillotines. Doesn't shock me one bit. I've seen pictures of them. People say, "Oh, you're full of it." Yeah. Okay, whatever. I've seen it with my own eyes. So, irregardless, some people aren't going to listen, and that's going to really hurt your heart. You're going to really try. You're going to reach out over the years and time and space. It's really going to start weighing on your soul that you've tried to get these people to understand at the base value. If they don't at least seek God and try to understand what they've done wrong in life. Okay, thank you. You know, I don't know how to explain it without starting to get on a bandwagon here. If you don't explain to them, there's 10 commandments. Those 10 commandments have never left. Okay, they're still the same 10 commandments. Jesus didn't come to destroy the law. He came to give us a way without having to pay the price for the law, because God knew we could never atone enough to be saved under the law. But the 10 commandments are still there. So, thou shalt not steal. Have you ever stolen anything? That includes the ink pen from the bank, or a piece of bubble gum, or a cookie out of the cookie jar. Well, 99.99% of people I know, myself included, will say, yeah, well, you're a thief. Did you ever look at somebody with lust in your eyes? Did you go, man, I'd really like to meet with them? Well, now you're an adulterer. There's two. Have you ever said, God? Well, now you use the Lord's name in vain. Now there's 3 strikes. So just on those 3 strikes, if you go in front of God, you are a sinner. Without the blood of Jesus, you go to hell. Simple. But some people won't be able to understand that. And without the blood of Jesus, none of us ain't going anywhere. Sorry. Interesting. Exactly. Not 10 suggestions. Matter of fact, there's a book in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, or the Torah, the Torah, that lists over 600 laws that God gave to Moses. Moses gave to Israel in the desert, in the wilderness. You know what? If you tried living by all those laws, you'd be very miserable. Because there are a lot of things like, guess what? Can't eat bacon. Oh, no bacon. That would crush a lot of people in and of itself. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, the law, but I'm just saying, the minute you eat bacon, you've broken a law. And there's so many that most of us I don't even know all of them. And I probably should. Hey, small town. as we all are, Rebecca. We all are. Grace and mercy. New every day. And there are some days, unfortunately, I get frustrated. I get a little disheartened with people I know, and I have to fall upon his grace and his mercy. Exactly. For all have fallen short and sinned, and wow, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, except one, and that is Jesus himself. He turns his, all right, let me clarify that, because it's something I've had to deal with my life many times, wondering sometimes if the sins of my past were too great for him to hear me. And at the beginning, they probably were, because I can't guarantee I was repentant at the time when I first started trying to, understand the word of God. And so I would pray. But I can't honestly say when I very first started that my heart was 100% into it. I can't. I'd be lying if I did. I just, kind of went through the motions and said the words. And it says that if we do not pray with repentant, honest, sincere heart, Jesus will turn a deaf ear to our prayers. So I was just listing that as an example, Brass. Most of the apostles were not even actually teachers in the first place. They were fishermen. And they used what Jesus taught them through the parables, through healing, and through other ministries, the ministries of help, to go out and teach and preach to the Gentiles, as well as any Jew that would listen. Saul, or Paul, as we came to know him later, was the actual only true learned one. He was a scholar of his time, held in high regard, which means he not only studied the Tanakh and the Torah, but he knew it pretty well better than most anybody living today, I would imagine. I know, Tyson. One was a tax collector. My point is, they were not scholars of the time. Paul was. And even he didn't use the Old Testament to teach. He used references from the Old Testament to bring light into the fact that these things had already happened, which was the birth, burial, and resurrection of the Lord Jesus. Don't mind me, I have to look over here to see the rest of the chat. Going back to the whole praying thing, but if you're honest and sincere in your prayers, you're actually honestly trying to change your ways, if you're trying not to sin, if you're seeking his word and his face in prayer, he will not turn a deaf ear to you. And I'm a testament to that. Because you know what? I'm human. I make mistakes. There are days where I get a little depressed when I'm not focusing on God. I'm letting the things in this world get to me. I'm watching my friends tear themselves apart, arguing about this and arguing about that, trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong over current events or what have you. And it's disheartening to see people I care about kind of going at each other. It bugs me. It really does. But when my neighbor's boy came down with a dragon, all I could do is say, "Oh, God, it's in your hands," and I walked right over there. No PPE. I didn't take no precautions. I just took one of my thermometers over there, checked his temperature, told her what to do, stood in the house, talked with her, went over the next day, double checked on him. I kept And now him and Charles are playing again. So did I do that foolishly, or was it through prayer and acknowledgement that I was under the grace of God, that I went over there knowing that if it was his will, whether I was there or not, that if it was his will for me to get it, I was going to get it. If it's his will for me to stay on this planet a little while longer, then I was well safe to go over there because he would take care of anything that happened. He would kill it dead in my hand. It would be like it never happened, which is exactly what happened. My son caught it, very mild symptoms. Little boy next door got it. He had some pretty bad symptoms. He's still got a mild cough, but it's, very, very mild. Like once every 12 to 14 hours, you may go, but that could, of course, be in from AK Steel over here, because that hasn't helped my asthma one bit. Neither does some other things I do, like smoking. So yes, I'm working on that still. So when I say prayer works, it does work. You can doubt it. It's on you. But I know for a fact it works. And if Lori Jean was in here, she would tell you it works. Oh, glitched. And hold on. For some reason that didn't show. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that. We had to get that one approved for some reason. Anyway, yeah, because I don't have any other moderators in here. I have to fix that someday. Anyway, don't have that many people in here that are on here on a regular basis that pray and that were aware of what was going on. But we did have a church, actually 2 churches that I'm aware of, praying for her and her daughters. Both her daughters came down with it. Both her daughters had very high level of fever. One daughter went through it for 4 days. The other one went through it for 2.5 days, and both are now recovering. And that's because of prayer. If you watch the hospitals, those who don't get prayer or aren't praying themselves are the ones in there for 2 weeks, 14, 16, 18, 20 days. No, I'm sure there are some people out there praying for them, but are they true Christians, or are they just claiming to be Christians? 80% of America claims to be Christian, yet 60% of America agrees in abortion. Somehow those 2 numbers don't add up correctly. Okay. If you claim to be Christian, then you cannot agree with abortion, because abortion is the murdering of an unborn child. My personal belief. I don't expect anybody to agree with me. And if you don't, that's okay. That's your opinion. I have no problem with people's opinions. I'm just stating mine, and I'm not trying to change yours. And I'll probably get hammered for that one. I don't care. But if you claim to be Christian, you can't agree with that. Along with a lot of other things that Christians claim to be okay with, and churches claim to be okay with. We won't get a hold or on top of the whole soapbox of LBGT. I won't go there, because I will probably get knocked off of YouTube faster, and we can say, what happened? Not that I care what YouTube thinks. I really don't. But I don't want to lose my only avenue of getting out there and saying, hey, everybody, because right now this is my only interaction with the outside world. I lose it, no big deal, but I'd like to not lose it. Let's just say, if you're a Christian and you think LGBT is okay, you need to go read your Bible and rethink your thoughts. That's all I'll say on that one. Anywho, so anybody have any comments, questions, thoughts, like to add? There are other options. Adoption. Admittedly, it's hard to give one up if you've carried it for 9 months. And trust me, I've been around many women who have carried babies 9 months. Some of it was enjoyable, some of it not so much for me. Even though they weren't my kids, it's still, I've been around, and the neighbor girl next door is pregnant too. Thank God I'm here. She's over there. We're separated by a wall. I don't have to hear it. Anyway, if she's watching, I'm kidding. No, not really. I'm too old to deal with that again. That's just me personally. Being over to bring on my way down the hill, I don't want to deal with that no more. I don't think I have the patience. I have a handful with Charles. But there are other options. I do not agree with abortion in any way, shape, or form. Charles's mother was given that option when she was pregnant for Charles. And I said, I don't want you to, but I can't force you to make up your mind. You got to do it on your own. And by the grace of God, she had Charles anyway, which I'm thankful for. Exactly. I mean, adoption it's still painful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to diminish in any way, shape, or form the pain of somebody being raped. No, I'm not. It's traumatic. It stays with you your entire life. And so to have to carry a baby 9 months and then give it up afterwards, the PTSD alone, postpartum, however you want to label it, would be immense. One on top of the other. It would take a lot of mental help and a whole lot of prayer and supplication on your own part to get through it. But those that I've known that have prayed through it have gotten through it. Okay, so I just can't agree with any point of abortion. I just can't. But that's my personal belief, and I don't ask anybody to change theirs if it's different. Yeah, Tex and I had learned that one out the hard way. My ex had Charles. I prayed for patience. Charles is the epitome of needing patience. And it teaches me every day I need more and more and more. So, yeah, be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it in an overabundance. And that doesn't mean pray for material things either. This is just me personally. And I can't say I've actually been called out on it, but I've been questioned about it. I don't usually pray for myself unless I'm just in an immense amount of pain where I can't calm down enough to sleep. Then I'll pray for sleep for myself, relief from the pain. And that does happen every now and again. But 99.9% of the time, I don't pray for myself. I don't ask for anything for myself. I pray for other people because, in my opinion, other people need it more than I do. And that's just a personal thing. Kids and cats. Hey, Richard. So, I mean, if you're praying, we should be praying for other people almost incessantly. The greatest prayer warriors that I've ever met were intercessory prayer people. And they would take a block of time, a group of them would get together, although now with this whole social distancing thing, or physical distancing, not social, but physical, it might be a little more difficult, but you know what? These computers, Charles is doing fine at the moment, thank you. And that's by the grace of God alone, not by anything that I did or anybody here on this planet did. It's by the grace of God. Hey, Ryan, long time no see. So, where was I at? Sorry, choo-choo train ran through. Oh, let's see. What was I doing? Doggone it. Thanks, Tryon. Your choo-choo train done derailed me. See, that's why it would help if I had somebody on this side of the screen. Oh, well. Anywho, where was I at? Oh, praying. I feel it's more important for me to pray for other people because there are people in a whole lot worse shape than I'm at. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my home. I have a bed to sleep in. I've got clothes. Charles is, sorry, Charles has transportation when school's running. So, I mean, I'm blessed, truly blessed, and I am ever so thankful. But there are people out there in this world that don't have any of that. They struggle for a meal. They don't have a home to sleep in. They sleep in cardboard boxes. They have to go digging through garbage dumps to try and find a pair of shoes to wear. So, who am I to pray for myself when there's others out there who need so much more? I feel it's more important to pray for other people. That's just my personal belief. You know, if I could go out there and give away, I could give away Bill Gates' entire fortune in a matter of days to help these people who have nothing right now, who don't have a home. And I'm talking, hey, Fish and Loaves. I'm talking about people that have had a really hard time and either made some bad decisions and it got the better of them, or other people made bad decisions for them. And that does happen. And there are a lot of good homeless people out there who've never been able to recover from whatever put them down in the first place. And of course, you've got people out there who choose to be that way because they don't want to work. Right. And to my point right there, they don't want the help. They drink what they make. So those are people you can't help. You cannot help somebody who's not willing to help themselves. The old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And of course, it's alcohol. Then some homeless will just drink it anyway. They don't care. What, Katie? What? Lay down. But yeah, it's just my personal belief on prayer. And just so you guys know that are just showing up, I will put a transcript of what I went through earlier at the beginning in the description below or in the first post or two, depending on how many lines it takes, just so you guys have it. So you got a copy of the verses to go through. Well, you're doing the right thing by trying to help. I'm not knocking that at all. But if they abuse what's given, and you know what? Not a single one of us is completely innocent of that, be it in our youth or our old age. We've accepted something and not done exactly properly with it. We've all been guilty of it to some degree or another. Some of us more than others, but it's learning from that mistake and trying to improve and do better. That's the difference between knowing God and not knowing him. Because when you know God, you want to do better. You don't want to push God's limits of his forgiveness. So you strive, you do your best to change. And like I've said in the past, I'm human, I make mistakes still. And I still have trials and tribulations that I face. But I go through those knowing that every trial and tribulation I face, as long as I didn't bring it upon myself, which in the past I have done, not proud of it, but it's just saying that when I go through these trials and tribulations, it's a trial by fire. And when I look to God and say, Jesus, I can't do this on my own. I don't have the strength. I don't have the knowledge. So I fall at his feet and say, please have mercy upon me. Accept the repentance of my sins. I'm doing my best to change. I repent. I don't want to do these things no more. And it's he who picks me up and carries me through these fires. Because I can't do it on my own. But being able to realize that, it takes falling upon his strength for us to understand some things. No, I was actually going to be doing a video this week that didn't pan out. That's why they're all sitting there. And of course, the top one right there is the giveaway one. Well, and that's people taking a certain verse out of context. And unfortunately, too many people take biblical verses and take one little itty snippet of a line or half a verse and say, here's your way you're supposed to be. And it's not exactly the way the Bible said it. If you read the whole verse in front of it and behind it, you get a better context of what's being said. I think it was a famous child psychologist who once said, the Bible said, spoil your child. Well, that's completely taken out of context. It says, do not spare the rod and spoil the child, for they will not learn. And I'm going to add my own 2 cents. They ain't going to learn nothing. They will fall away from your teachings about God, which is why I ride Charles pretty hard to a degree. I want to make sure that he understands right from wrong. When he does good, he's praised. When he doesn't, and if it's bad enough, he'll receive a just reward for it. And it's usually pretty bad for his eyes. He thinks losing a monster truck or two is horrible. The world's ending. It's completely falling apart. So I have to kind of balance it. But, I do my best to teach him, what God says about how we're supposed to do things. No, it's not about interpretation. It's about using actual verses in context. That part I will argue a little bit. Yeah, there's places in the Bible says we're black and is white. But if you take that certain verse out of context, well, then somebody can say, well, everything's white because it's in the Bible. It says, oh, everything's white. Oh, no, it says it's black and white. You just skip the half the verse or the verse in front of it and probably the whole verse or two beyond it. Taking verses out of context is not doing yourself any justice because you're not learning what you could be learning. And that's just my personal interpretation of the Bible. The Bible. If what you read makes plain sense, seek no other sense. If you don't understand what the Bible's saying in a certain verse, go back through the Bible, you'll find it in a couple other places and it will give an explanation. People didn't understand when Jesus first said kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. Okay, kingdom against kingdom would be the U.S. versus Canada. Sorry, Cecilia. Hey, well, Moon. I'll get to you just a second. But, that would be kingdom against kingdom. U.S., Canada, or U.S., Germany, whoever. That's kingdom against kingdom. But nation against nation. The word nation in Greek is ethnos. And ethnos means of the same tribe. So when you see nation against nation or ethnos against ethnos or U.S. against itself, which is what we're going through right now, and we have been for the last 4 years, really badly. I mean, it was before that, but it's grown exponentially bad in the last 4 years. That's nation against nation, folks. And it's more prevalent now. And it's not just here in the U.S. It's in every single country and nationality and kingdom, if you will, around the world. China's got it in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Okay, just to name one. So, another one. So, I mean, it's all over. It's not just in one place. Right. And that goes, that kind of goes back to the Good Samaritan. 3 people walk by a person injured on the road. The first 2 walk right on by, and they're supposedly men of God. And a Samaritan who's not, he's a Gentile, a sinner, walks over, picks a man up, throws him on a donkey, takes him to the next town, pays for his room for that night and the next couple nights, and the guy says, I'll come back and pay the rest later. So, I mean, that's the Good Samaritan. And Jesus even talked about the Good Samaritan, if I do remember correctly. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am at this point. And the last person I tried to help, I did exactly that. I was walking to Kroger a couple years back, and there was a guy, looked like to be a military vet, who had to sign up, money for food. Well, I didn't have any cash, so I took what I had, which wasn't much, on my card. I went and bought him a sandwich, ice cold drink, and a pop. And I took that over to him. I said, I don't have any cash, but here's some food and drink. And I left. It doesn't matter what happened after that. If he got angry or not, I don't know, don't care. I did what I felt led to do, which was show him some compassion, which there's so little of that in this day and age as well, so little compassion. There's too much judgment and fighting and arguing and bickering over little things. And I'm not even going to get started on that because I'll jump up on a soapbox y'all don't want to hear. But I don't say that as to brag. I say that to kind of prove the point of what's been said above. The Bible says, when doing good, don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. It's kind of a way to see. Don't go about boasting and bragging. Because remember, the Bible also says we can do no good on our own, but we can only do good through he who sends us. So the Holy Spirit is here now. He's also the great restrainer. And when we do good, it's because we are led to do good through the Holy Spirit. We as evil people can do no good on our own. Okay. We are sinners. We're evil by nature. And if you want to argue that, go read your Bible. But when we do something good to help somebody else, it's because we feel that urge. It's an unction. And that comes from the Holy Spirit trying to get us to pay attention. And for those who've never paid attention, if you pay attention the next time you do something good for somebody else and follow that feeling, if you want to call it that, and then go read the Word of God, it'll be opened up immensely in front of you. Right. And sometimes fish and loaves, we have to go through some pretty, it can be pretty hurtful to us because we do something to help and then we're all but smacked in the face with it. And you know what? I've did that in my past. I took a gift and misused it. I'm not proud of it. And the people that I hurt in the process, I can never say I'm sorry to. They're gone. I missed the opportunity to ask for forgiveness. So now I have to go before Jesus every night and ask him to please forgive me for the things that I've done. So, and I'm kind of tattling on myself here, but because I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, I'd be 6 foot under and sitting next to, I pray I'm sitting next to Jesus, but I'm hoping I'm just sitting in heaven cleaning the bathroom floors. You know what? I'll be honest. Because you know what? I'm a sinner. And if the only thing I get to do in heaven is clean the bathroom floors with a toothbrush, I will be glad to do that. Well, see, I don't go around telling everybody what I did. I'm not sure unless you're referring to the left hand and the right hand thing. And that whole bragging about things goes back to what I discussed the other night was Jesus talking about the two people in the temple praying. Well, try, and sometimes you offer and they won't receive it because their intentions are entirely different. But going back to um, being proud and haughty, saying, "Hey, I did this," and I'm not saying you did. See, I see what was being said there now. So, um, but it goes back to what Jesus was talking about, the two people in the temple. The one, we'll just call him a minister to shorten the whole lineup, went in there thumping his chest saying, "I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that." Boastful about what he's done. And there's a guy at the very back of the church, the temple, standing kind of behind of a pillar, trying to be out of sight, out of mind. And he had his head hung low, asking for forgiveness, admitting what he'd done wrong. Who is Jesus more proud of, if you want to put it in that term, for their prayers? Who did he listen to first and foremost over the other? We all know the answer. It was the guy at the back of the church who humbled himself. He wasn't up there boasting and bragging about what he did. And that's the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to go out and boast and brag. We're supposed to be humble. And if you're not humble, then go watch the last live stream I did. It was about being humble. Just a little bit. Right. I just don't mind me. I'm trying to keep up with chat, and sometimes I miss bits and pieces and then catch it 2 seconds later when it's already too late for me because I already opened my mouth. So forgive me. Peace. Well, Wild Moon, my past trip in Michigan, says that's my biggest fault. And because when my mom passed away, I received a small chunk of money, very small. Several companies found every excuse they could not to pay the death benefit that they were supposed to pay. So I wasn't able to get completely out of debt like I should have been able to. The bills that were supposed to be paid after her passing never got paid, which put me hugely in debt. But I did get a little bit of money, and I went out and figured, well, I need to make sure I got a vehicle that's going to run for 5-6 years. So I purchased a brand new pickup. I paid a hefty down payment. I figured, well, with that, I can actually make the monthly payments. Well, then I went out and helped somebody and then helped somebody else out. And then I helped somebody else out. And two of those somebodies were supposed to pay back and never did. And when they didn't, that put me really, really, really behind on doing the things that I'd already committed to doing. And I wound up losing the truck because of it, because the other things I felt were more important for me to take care of than a pickup. I figured I could walk back and forth to work. It was only 8 miles. I didn't care, So, right. I didn't think you were, but I was just trying to explain where I was coming from, just in case maybe I'd confuse somebody. So I didn't want to come across, darn Mike. I didn't want to come across as trying to be something else. That's why I reiterated it. So I'm sorry. Right. Like I said, Rebecca, I read bits and pieces and thought I knew what I was talking about. And so I thought it was, on something I said. So I was trying to reiterate it. That's all. No offense taken, none meant. Well, that's what I see a lot of. I actually posted on Facebook, and I know most of you aren't following me on Facebook, and that's cool. I'm not asking you to. I don't get on there a whole lot, but when I posted on there, I've seen a lot of anger and angst lately, even among Christian people. And it surprises me that these people that I've known for years are getting so aggravated over the things that they're getting aggravated over, to the point of believing any story that kind of fits their thoughts rather than doing research into it and checking to make sure, I know, what they're saying is true, that there isn't something more underlying, or that the story they're reading is only printing half truths. They're not doing full research to verify. And I made a comment on somebody's post, and they were talking about the current events. And who? Me? Coffee? Of course I have my coffee. What kind of person would I be without my coffee? Asleep is what I'd be. No, I'm kidding. And I explained the actual numbers. And then, well, there's this guy in Israel that says it only lasts 2 weeks. Possibly, maybe. Well, no, the numbers bear out an entirely different story. So if it's only lasting 2 weeks, then how come we have people in the hospital, a month in the hospital? That means they actually had it before they got to the hospital, and they've been in the hospital a month. So, but rather than argue with people about it, which would create an anger, a dissension between me and them, I'm not going to. I'll let them, and the truth will come out eventually. Someday, I pray it does. But if not here, in the air. Okay. Oh, uh-oh. Oh boy. He just sneezed. Duck up north. I'm in a safe spot now. I'm down in a holler. And bless you. But yeah, I'm going to have to go refill my coffee cup here in a minute. So I'm going to have to put somebody in charge to keep you all you yahoos in line for a minute. Hey, Mama Z. And again, for those who are just coming in, I will post a list of the verses I went through at the beginning of this in the description below this video. The question is, was he wearing his mask when he sneezed? I mean, come on now. Be safe. Kidding, of course. All jokes aside, I'm doing fine. A little disappointed, shall we say, in some of the people that I know who are getting so angry and showing how much angst they actually have. And my pastor actually made a very good point that how you react to certain things shows just how much devil you have inside you. And you know what? When I get angry and I reflect on that thought, and I'm human, I do get angry. I can't sit here and say, I have a wonderful life. I never get upset. No, I can't do that. And don't worry, I won't do that again either. I have to realize at that point that what I'm doing is wrong. It's anger. It's not of God. And it's also producing a person that I don't want to see myself, let alone anybody else see. And so I have to go and, Lord, I messed up again. I got angry. Instead of looking to you, I looked at myself and looked at the world. And I have to go in front of God with it, in front of Jesus. AP, Pennsylvania. Yeah, here's the sad fact when it comes to that aspect of what's going on. All these people who say it ain't that bad are never going to understand how bad it is until either they get it or somebody close in their family gets it and winds up really bad off. All these people saying it only hits the elderly. And I actually have heard people say, well, let them die. Who cares? What? How immoral of a comment is that? Oh, yeah, true. Well, it's the same pastor. I've posted a couple videos on here of him. I respect him immensely. Do I agree with him all the time? No. And I've told him as much. But it's on things that both sides of us are standing on the Bible when we talk about it. His interpretation is one way, mine's another one. And we agree to disagree that we'll know the final answer when we're near. We don't let it divide us. So, I mean, and that's the key thing. Too much anger right now, especially with the lockdowns. People are starting to go from aggravated to angst to outright anger. And the next step above anger is angry actions. They're going to be, the demonstrations are going to get violent. What's going to happen? And we all know there are bad actors out there who do bad things no matter what good things anybody else does. They're going to do bad things anyway. That's that goofball down there in Texas. Good thing I can't vote down there. I would vote him out of office. And see, that as Christians is something we have to watch out for. And we have to warn our family and friends, look, the road you're going down is a stepped stairway going down. It's not going up. You're not going to go up with that stairway. You're going straight down. And the next place it hits is rage. And very bad happens. Things happen when you get to rage. Oh, he probably does. And they're probably already passed away. And yeah, and like I say, unfortunately, and I've watched for the last 2 weeks, which is another reason I don't go to Facebook a whole lot more because I keep seeing post after post after post of everybody and their sisters and brothers and saying, "Let's stand up. Let's go do this. We're gonna rebel against the government now." And you goofballs, do you not realize that what you're doing is actually making what they want to do so much easier? You want to quit being locked down? Then quit driving 500,000 people into the city, into the state capital of the state, and locking it down and standing shoulder to shoulder. Because you're just proving that you don't have the mentality to distance yourself so they can open it up sooner. You want it to open up sooner? Follow the rules set for you. Am I saying doing it blindly? No. Watch what's going on. Keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. But I'm not saying blindly follow it. Yeah, Pennsylvania, I have heard it. Hi, Lisa. I'm not going to get into that aspect, Texan, although I can neither agree or disagree here publicly about that. I save that for the tin hat portion of Discord. And so I'm going to put Heavens in charge while I go make me a cup of coffee. So y'all play nice now. Don't be mean to her. She's nice. She sells awesome. Go get some soap from her. She's got some. Go get some. Okay, I'm back. And Titan wants to say hello, so come here. Pause up. Say hello, Titan. Hey, Urban. Hey, Josh. There you go. There you go. You had your 2 minutes of fame. Haha. Now you're cornered, Julie. What you gonna do now? Haha. I'm in trouble now. I could see it already. Side back. Side back so you don't fall off. Oh, no boogers. Poor babies. What's that? Sorry, I had to clean up my cat's eye. You did, dear buddy cat. Oh, she's no baby no more. You should have seen it. Should go back and look at some of my other videos when she was just a itty bitty little teeny. I could hold her in the palm of my hands right after somebody here kicked her right square in the face. Yes, Titan. Like a Titan, she got knocked down and she got right back up. Duh, no, you ain't feeding this one to a dog. My Titan. So another reason for y'all to go check out Discord channel. And here, I'll go grab a link real quick because I can do that on this one. This link will expire in 23 hours and 57 minutes. Link to the Discord channel. What is Discord? If you go back through my videos, I have a live stream on the basics of Discord, what it is, and how to deal with it and stuff like that. Interesting. A dog that's a Samson who is a poodle and thinks he's a mastiff. Don't make him angry and ask God for help. You might find out he's just a mastiff. He's a mastiff in disguise. I can go get you a bar of the soap, but it's kind of smaller than what it normally is. And I can get a bar of the stuff that hasn't been used if you want to see her soap. If you want, well, you know what? Give me a minute. I'll go get it. Okay. This is a land of milk and honey. and get the wrapper partly off of it. This one she actually sent for Charles. It smells good enough to eat. So that one looks really nice. But he didn't want to use that one right away. Who's going to bed? Who's going to bed? All right, Pennsylvania. Have a good night. Thank you. And she'll tell you that she can tell this one's been used. This is the chocolate one. And it gets used daily. My cat actually likes the chocolate one and tries to lick it. I have to keep it put up where she can't lick it. What you can't see right now is she's trying to jump across my lap to get to it. No, no. No. No can have. I would not want to have to clean up the litter box afterwards. Let me put it this way. I wanted to test the effectiveness of her soaps. So I used what I normally do one night. The next night I used hers, and I did that for a week. Just back and forth. I feel cleaner. I'm more relaxed after I could take a shower with that soap, partially because of the aroma. And I feel a whole lot cleaner with city water than I do with my normal soap. So if you need a testimony, I give you mine. The lady next door that's pregnant, she took the one that's got the patchouli in it. That's supposed to be more of a manly scent. She liked that one, and she says she loves it, but she just won't order any. So I may just be a nice guy and get her one for her baby shower thingy. Not soap or soup. We love soup. No, whoa, wait a minute. Not soup, soap. I mean, I can, even though I put the one back in the bag, I can still smell it. And that's why I honestly think that I actually feel more relaxed when I've used her soaps than on the nights where I don't. And no, you will not have to endure a shower scene with me trying to demonstrate how effective it lathers up. I will not subjugate you to guys to that kind of torture. Just take my word that it works quite well. Well, Rebecca, I don't think it would taste all that good. But yes, get with Lori. You know what? Yeah, we're all coming up on some pretty hard times right now. I get that, but being a help, you mean I can't talk tonight. Being able to help one another out in some small way is always a bonus. I actually, we have somebody join. Welcome, Danny's girl. Yeah, so even when I'm doing this, I still monitor my Discord. That way I can also watch for trolls. Well, maybe I'm using it wrong, Julie. My chocolate bars lasted quite a while. Maybe I need to get a little more friction in there on it. I don't know. But when I first opened the box, my house smelled so good, I could have fallen asleep right here in my chair, which is uncomfortable for me with my neck. Well, if I can get my eyes to focus, I can read what's in this one. And this was Land of Milk and Honey. It smells awesome. I don't know if I can get my eyes to work. Virgin organic coconut oil, olive oil, sunflower oil, palm oil, castor distilled water, goat's milk, unrefined organic shea butter, mango butter, lye, because you need that to get clean, extra virgin olive oil. And she prints this stuff so doggone small. I need a magnifying glass, and I got mine handy. But trust me, it's all natural. And my cat's still wanting to try and, okay, fine, sniff my fingers, but don't lick it. You'll be regretting it. And I'm not cleaning your litter. No, too late. Quit. I'm not cleaning your litter box. No. Your poo will be bad. We don't want that. You'll be meowing and pooing all night long. We can deal with that, okay? Anywho, somebody else running off. Okay, Rebecca. Good night. Thanks for coming by. God bless. Tutti Frutti. Ooh, that sounds good. I remember Tutti Frutti ice cream. For punch. I don't know. Is there a way to make a soap with a good soap without actual scent to it? But I mean, a really good soap. I mean, your soaps are awesome. God, I wish I wouldn't whistle so much. Turn that down a little bit. Maybe they'll makes me sound a little deeper, but might get rid of some of the high pitched whistling. Yeah, don't make that poodle angry. Don't make it ask God for help. The house may come crumbling down. See, one thing I do want to find is I want to find some true, and I'm not talking little teeny, I want to find a bottle, about, I don't know, maybe it's an ounce and a half or so of an ounce and a half bottle of straight patchouli oil. Because see, that when I drove truck, when I'd be on the road for 20 hours and I knew I had to get to sleep quick, I'd take a couple drops of patchouli oil, put it in the vents up front where I'd either be running heat or air, depending on the time of year. And with that smell, I could fall asleep almost instantly in the bunk. All right, Texan. Have a good night. Thanks, and God bless. One of these days, I'm actually looking to trying to make soap because that would be a good barter item, being able to make soap in a situational event. But right now, I don't have the time, the area, or patience to do it because I'd have to make the molds and then I have to buy extra tools. And I actually don't have enough room in my apartment now for the tools I do have. One of these days, I'm actually show you guys what I call my little work area. It's what's left of my kitchen. I have to go dust it off and wash the walls and get all the wood dust cleaned up. Yeah, it's better to keep that stuff separate. Yeah, I used to work with a girl at the casino who wore patchouli as a perfume. You could smell her coming from the other side of the casino. If she was walking the right direction, the vents were on blowing. You could smell her quite a ways away. And I used to give her heck for it. Said, "You're making me sleepy. Quit wearing it." Then a couple of days later, she'd wear it and deliberately walk up to me. "How you feeling, Dave?" "Tired. Now go away, please." Wow. I got to get glasses. At first, I thought it said "I have tested" or tasted, not tested. I like it in very small doses, like, when I'm trying to go to sleep. The honey and oat one, yeah, it's full of good stuff. The oats and the honey in and of itself are good. Mondak, SD Mountain Man. Good evening. How you doing, Mondak? Ain't seen nothing from you in a minute, or did YouTube block you again on me? Arl. Or Allie. I'm sorry, Allie Carroll. Yeah. Uh-oh. Let me guess. It's a Jerry raid? Is it a Jerry raid? Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm getting raided by Jerry. Oh, darn it. Well, as long as you're still doing good there, Mondak, I'm glad to hear it. Hey, old man. Hello, David. From another David. We're trying, Mondak. We're trying. We've had to smash our face against the keyboard a few times in the last recent weeks, but other than that, we're doing okay. And now I can hear the neighbor's air conditioner running. Ugh. Hey, Bama. Woodswoman. Welcome to all those who have joined from visiting Jerry's Woodshop Outdoors, where ferro rods and explosions are the normal. Making knives are a pastime, and just general BSery is always welcome. Jerry. Hey, Gray Man. So how y'all doing tonight? Did anybody buy a knife? And if so, which one? Hey, BR. Because I do believe that's what you were doing tonight, wasn't it, Jerry? No, unfortunately, it's not a glow forge. I couldn't afford that. Mine is a little rinky-dink cheap one. It only does a 4-inch. Well, it does 5.5 by 5.5 inch. Well, trying. Go hit up Jerry. He does pretty nice looking knives. And it's not actually, it doesn't actually carve, unfortunately. Someday I would like to pick up a decent machine that does carving as well, but that's a ways off down the highway. Well, selling one is a good thing. Wish I'd have been there for the giveaway, though. Darn it. Oh, well. I've got enough knives at the moment. You got a Batman thrower? Oh, now I'm jelly. Well, Miss Julie, I sent you pictures of 2 possible on Discord, but you're not responded. I got to make sure those are acceptable before I go buy the wood and all the other stuff. Yeah, little. Hold on. I'll seeing as how we're all right here. Give me just a second. You're in charge again, Julie. So what do you think, Julie? Those acceptable? Of course, yours will be unpainted, of course. It's just scrap wood. Good grief, Gil. Okay, no problem. So, Julie, answer. My arm's starting to hurt. Hey, Galen. Okay, well, that's enough. My arm hurts. Can't hold them forever. Okay, what did I miss? I honestly hope you're kidding there, Jerry, because if not, I'm going to have to go cry in my little corner again. I don't know, Julie. I see no answer. Maybe it was you and Kathy chit-chatting. Let me double check. Nope, you didn't. Ah, good, Jerry. That means I don't have to go cry later. So did you see those, Julie? I'll show them again. Hold on. That's 2 by 3. And that doesn't have to be that print. Hey, Kevin. Welcome. But that was just some scrap wood. I wanted to test out the font to make sure it was appropriate for what you wanted. Because like I said, I can change the font. And yours will be unpainted natural wood. The wood will be naked. You'll have to dress it. Was you outside playing in the dirt again, Gil? I told you that's good for your health, man. You got to be careful. So, what else has been happening out there in the tube land that y'all want to bring up and discuss? Nicely, of course. Let's not do any aggravations. Thank you, Jerry. Well, I'm going to go plug myself, seeing as how there's so many new people here. I'm doing a giveaway. And if you look right there, that top medical bag is the one that's in my most recent video that I put up just before this live stream. Go check it out. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and please subscribe. And if you do a VR video, you'll be entered. So please do a VR. That way I can give you a number. I would like to see more than just 3 or 4 people enter, please. Oh, brush fire. No, that's not a good thing. But I've actually already added stuff to that little bag from when I had it in the video. A few more things. But I'm not telling what they are until I actually do the actual giveaway. And as soon as I hit 1,000, I will be doing the giveaway. So I'm 240 something away. So it gives you guys like 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks. And you can get yourself entered in. Yeah. If you can share it on your Facebook and show me that you shared it on your Facebook, I will count that as an entry as well. That way, those who can't do VRs can at least have a chance to enter. I don't like limiting it to just a few certain people. So if you can show me that you shared it on Facebook to where I can actually go see it on Facebook that you shared that video, I'll give you an entry as well. No. I said 1 entry, Mr. Patton. 1. Thou shalt be fair and equal to all. Just make sure, Mondak, in case I don't catch it, because I actually had to go looking for your last video because YouTube didn't tell me about it. Just make sure you go to the video where I announced that 1,000 sub giveaway to put a link down there so I can go check it out and put a number on it. Well, oh man, we got to figure out something for you. I'll figure something out. I will do my best to make it as fair as possible for everybody that at least comments on that video. I was only going to do 1. Okay. I'll change the rules and I'll modify that video as well. New rules. Commenting on that video will get you 1 entry. Doing a VR or a Facebook post will get you 2 entries. So there you go. Just made more work for me. Darn it. I'm an old man. How am I supposed to keep up all this stuff? No trying. I've tried that before. Well, Kaylin, if you were to win and you wanted to pay it forward, that would be acceptable as well. Yeah, well, I tried, Jerry. I want to be as fair and equal as possible. So if you go to that video and you comment, you'll get 1 entry. And I'll have to go back after this. I get done tonight and actually start putting numbers down. And if you do a VR, I will give you 2 entries. If you do a Facebook post, I will give you 2 entries. So the most you can get is 2 entries. Old man, you already posted on the video, so you already got 1 entry. You're good. I will have to go. I don't know if I can search for you because you're north of the border at the moment. But if you can link your page on that video for me, I would appreciate it. Save me from trying to smash my face in the keyboard some more. My laptop doesn't like it no more. It complains when I do it. Not to mention, it always leaves a big Y in the middle of my forehead. Jerry. And I did talk to Doc Bones. They are actually going to donate the book. It will come directly from them. As soon as the winner is picked, all I got to do is let them know, and they will ship it directly from their house to your house autographed. So whoever the winner is will get an autographed copy of their third generation medicines guidebook. So you will be getting a very nice book straight from the doc himself. And I told him, I said, I'll pay for it. And he says, no, I'll give it away. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, she's not playing darts. She's playing jarts. Y'all remember what a jart is? The lawn dart thing? Looks like a small missile coming at your face when your brother or stepsister throw it at you. I mean, not that I've ever experienced that sensation before. Actually, Gil has a spreadsheet. I do believe it's on the Asset Center. Don't quote me on that. I actually haven't looked because I keep everything up here. I'm of the mindset if I put everything on paper, then somebody has a chance to find that piece of paper and find out what all I have and where it's at. If I keep it all in my head, which is not easy to do, they can torture me. They ain't going to get the information. No, there is no snake on my Facebook pic. See, if you go searching my name, you will come across over 1,000 of the similar name. Matter of fact, it's actually spelled the first and last the same, of a guy over in England who is a football coach. I can picture you doing that, Jerry. Ooh, that was a wild throw. And I would hate to be that buddy. Oh, I just realized how bad the lighting is. I'm sorry, guys. And thank you all to the new subscriptions. I appreciate it greatly. And for those that are new here, I monitor several things all at once. I've got my laptop here running the chat or the video. I've got an Apple over here, which monitors my Discord, and it's on a my son's account. So I've got a moderator for it just in case I don't have any in. And then I got a third one over here so I can see a lot more chat all at once, which is what I usually go to when it's been a minute since I looked. Well, I can't do nothing about that right now on deck, but I will try and do it after the live stream because you should be. And so should Jerry. I'm slacking in my old age. Hello, Ricky. Welcome. Because I don't know if this computer will catch up without causing issues. Give me a minute here while I try and get this computer to cooperate. Okay, this computer is caught up, sort of. So let's see. I live just south of Dayton. Okay. Okay. Mr. Jerry and Mondak, you guys are both now moderators. So you can post links if you wish. Ouch. In the butt. Ow. The worst thing I ever did was when I was in a foster home, the foster parent's son got a BB gun for Christmas. Me and him were out horsing around with it. And he was every bit of 200 yards into the field. He says, "You can't hit me from there." I pumped it up 10 times, not even thinking, how close am I from Findlay, Ohio? About an hour and a half. And I kind of half-heartedly aimed it, and this ought to be good. And I pulled the trigger. About 2 seconds later, he started screaming bloody murder. I hit him in his hand. Wasn't intentional. I didn't think I'd do it, but I managed to do it. No, you just come here almost every single time, fishes and loaves, and you've been faithful support, so you've earned it. Plus, sometimes you have something you want to add, and this way you can do it now. All right. Well, you guys heard it first. Jerry's going to throw a batarang into the SOP giveaway. Reminding you that neither Jerry nor I are liable for any possible injuries you may suffer while using said implement. And yeah, there'll be plenty in that bag. But when I finally do, because I'm probably going to add some more to it yet, that bag's not full, but by the time I give it away, it more than likely will be full. Oh no, she's got coffee? Uh-oh. Duck. And if you don't know what the batarang is that we're referring to, please go check out Jerry's Woodshop and Outdoors. He actually has a video on the batarang itself. Pretty cool. I just don't have a place I could throw it reliably safely without hitting a neighbor accidentally on purpose. I'm kidding. I would never throw it intentionally at somebody, except in absolute self-defense. So any other great YouTubers out there got any YouTube content coming out that they would like to share? Thank you, Mondak. And I'll tell you guys, go check out Mondak while you're at it too. Matter of fact, and I don't normally say this, but if you have the time, go check out everybody else in here. Go check each other out. Gray man, I've never been that brave. Used to do that with firecrackers a lot, but not stars. I was usually pretty accurate with a throwing star. Yeah, now you guys see why I live alone. I do not have to worry about said actions. Anywho, bottle rockets and firecrackers. Yep, pastimes or fun times of my youth. But yeah, go check each other out. There's a lot of great channels in here that have more content and better content than I've got. So go check them out. I'm sure they'd appreciate the support, even if it's just catching every other or every third video and giving them a like and a saying hello in the video. Helps their analytics, helps them get out there. And yeah, I didn't see that one, so I will have to go out and check it out there, Mondak. I'm sorry. But yep, life skills. See, he's got better content than I do. So go check out his content. Excuse me. I just like talking about the Bible and other stuff. Really? Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs down, whoever you are. Thank you for giving me a minute to watch time and taking the time to interact, because that makes a lot of difference. Even negative, like a thumbs down, is still an interaction, and it still helps promote the channel. So thank you very much. All right, Mondak. Well, I will be watching for it. Awesome. Well, well, small town. I just want to be honest, and there's no rainbows and unicorns here. There's no fluff. It's real. It's fact. It's the way I'd rather be. Because if I give you guys a bunch of rainbow and unicorn fluff, it's just, oh, okay, somebody changed it. They took it away. Thank you. I see that. But, you know, if I give you guys a bunch of fluff, then it starts sounding like fear porn. And yeah, if I really wanted to make my channel grow, I could jump on the bandwagon with all these other bozos of knuckle dragging Neanderthal testosterone filled knuckleheads and grow my channel almost overnight. But what would that gain me? Bunch of fakes? I'd rather have real, honest people, you know, like you guys. I'd rather interact with people that are just as real as I am, who aren't going to lie to me, and I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it is gloom and doom everywhere, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching the people that I care about also doing the same things that they keep saying they're frustrated over, but they're doing themselves. And to me, that it's not very smart. Well, my integrity has been called into question. I've been called everything recently but a white person. Hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty white still. So it is what it is. I don't take it personally. I ain't got time for that. Ooh, Crystal Light, grape. My mom used to love Crystal Light. If you want cotton candy, go watch King of Random. They actually tried using Pop Rocks to make cotton candy recently. That was a disaster. Who remembers Pop Rocks? Anybody remember Pop Rocks from the 70s and 80s? Yeah, so they tried taking Pop Rocks, putting them into a cotton candy machine, and expected some kind of good result. It didn't work out very well. And I could have thought of much better experiments. Hey, creative. Hey, where you been, man? I'm just kidding. Welcome from the man north of the border. I like Pop Rocks to a degree, but I wouldn't drink Coke. I didn't drink Coke. I drunk Pepsi. Now, if you get the right stuff, yes, cotton candy machines are awesome. Our housing complex does a thing once a year, and they actually rent one for that too. Charles loves it. Yeah, that was fake. It wasn't real news. He wound up with a belly ache, but that's it. He didn't die, contrary to popular beliefs. Oh, wait, shall we call that what it is? Fake news. So even back then, we had to deal with that. Amazing. It's only gotten worse over the years. Who would have thunk it? So did you get cleaned up yet there, Gil? Did you get yourself deacidified? In case y'all missed it, he said he was putting out a brush fire. Even Mythbusters did a thing on the whole Pop Rocks in the belly thing with Coke. You burp a lot, that's about it. Yeah, unfortunately, before people realized it was fake news, Pop Rocks went almost, the company that makes it almost went belly up because nobody was buying anything they made. They almost went completely belly up because of one false rumor. ACR, did you see my giveaway video? Yeah, we're like magnets, Gil. We just stick together. Poor Gil. So, for those who just joined or are not aware, I'll repeat the rules. The rules have changed. I have to go back and fix the last video's rules down below. But to enter for the bag, go comment on that video. Say I'm in. If you do VR, you'll get a second entry. If you do a video or a Facebook post that I can go check out, I will give you an entry. So the most entries you can get is 2, but there's 2 ways to get that extra one, either via Facebook or a video here on YouTube. So, and then I'll have to hire me an accountant to try and keep track of it all. Because I'm getting old and senile. Hey, White family, welcome. Oh, garbage pail. Ugh. Those were slingshot practice for me as a kid. I was not a very nice kid at points. But that's for another day's discussion. Well, Kaylin, we got probably at least 4 weeks to even worry about that. So you have plenty of time. Laundry, chickens, and ham stock. Hopefully not necessarily in that order, but if it is, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I don't think seagulls would like pop rocks too well. Kind of like Alka-Seltzer. Hold on. Let me see. I will tell you if it's the correct one. Open the new tab. This is another reason why I have yes, that is the correct video. It's another reason I have this Apple over here so I can actually double check stuff for people like that too. Well, I would appreciate it, Mondek. Okay, I don't think I've missed anybody yet. So again, for the new people who are just coming in, the giveaway is active. I know Wide Family's newest. So either a VR or a Facebook post that I could verify would get you an entry, and just commenting on the video would get you an entry. So you can get up to 2 entries. Ooh, well, considering you're not that far away and Ohio is going to be lifting its restrictions on travel soon, you can bring me some. I take some. I will count that for you, Cecilia. And we'll give you a count for that one. Like I said, for those who comment, we'll get at least one. I want it to be fair, but I'm also going to keep track too, because I'm also going to watch for those trolls who all they do is come in and comment but aren't subscribed. Those will not get they may get a number, but they'll get passed if their number gets picked, because it's going to be kind of hard to try and skip numbers. Okay, if you can post a link on the giveaway of your Facebook post so I can verify. I'm not trying to be invasive or anything. I just want to keep it fair. That way I make sure I don't miss anything. Because tomorrow morning I may forget that you said that, and then I'll forget to check, and it wouldn't be fair to you for me not getting you the extra point you deserve. Oh no. Papaya is an awesome fruit. I don't eat much of it, but it's good. Beeswax? Beeswax is always good stuff. At one time, I almost had a setup with a local beekeeper. You got that gas, Dave. Well, I might have sooner or later. We'll have to wait and see. But the person that was setting up the deal through with the local beekeeper was the lady that Charles was seeing to help deal with these emotional issues after his mother passed away and some other things. And we found out she was just playing him and she hurt him really bad. So that never materialized. Mhm. And they have lots of vitamins and minerals, good for the body. Welcome back, my deck. Yeah, not having a vehicle makes it really hard to get out and try and source local stuff. Because in all honesty, I'd rather buy local beeswax and honey than going to Walmart. I may have to pay a little bit more locally, but it's already got the pollen mixture from the trees and everything else that's in this area. And for those who don't know, which I'm sure most everybody here already does, but I'm gonna throw it out here. Anywho, if you can get local honey, it'll help bring your natural immune system up to the area you live in. So if you have an allergy, using local honey can help you get over that allergy. I would question how they processed that honey, but it's just me. Well, there you go, old man. You got a buyer right there off the bat. And you're both on Discord, so go ahead and look each other up on Discord. At least I think you're on there, aren't you, old man? Pretty sure you are. Let me see if I can get this to work over here. Find the O's. Yep, you're on there still. So just kind of hit each other up there on Discord. That way you don't have to worry about going through email. Discord is private. You don't have to worry about no governmental overreach. You had to go get pop rocks. Now, I keep hearing about this whorehound, and I've never, until I heard it, who was it on? I think it was on the Broussards that I heard him talking about whorehound uh, plant. So, or was it? No. No, Tibor brought it up with the very first show I had Doc Undersamy on. That's when. Cool. See, I'd never heard of it until recently, this year. And see, that's that's something I've always wanted to try and do is make some kind of ointment or something like that. And I've just never gotten the materials to do it. So maybe this year I may have to try and look into that as soon as I get done burning everything. And I'm probably, even though I haven't done it in about 2 years, I'm probably going to start making sheaths and holsters again. So if you guys need a sheath or a holster done, message me. I don't know. Give me a month. Let me think about it because it takes a lot of work and overhead to do that stuff. And there's a couple molds I'd have to buy in advance. Well, I'll send prayers that way, Kaylin, that a way will be made for you to get what you need. And see, before I even attempt to make some kind of, a balm of some sort, I'd have to make sure I resourced lots of other people's recipes. Arrowroot for the greasy there, fishes. Hold on while I check Discord. Wait, that was my other Discord. Okay. I gotta react to that one real quick. Okay, that's my gaming Discord channel. I had to say something there. Okay, I'm back. Tinicature, that's the word I was looking for. Because you can buy the little round things with lids on eBay or Amazon pretty cheap right at the moment. All right, Tryon, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Because that's something I wouldn't mind adding to my personal preps is a good tinicature or two of different stuff. Because that's, let's go down the old rabbit hole of a true event. Because this isn't a true event. This is a good training exercise for sure. But if you were to have to bug out, which I don't see that as a realistic option, to travel off into the woods forever and ever all by your lonesome, I don't see that as realistic. I see having to relocate to a group of like-minded individuals as being realistic. During your trek, having a tunicature that will help keep your feet soft, because you never walked 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 miles and realized what it does to your feet, having a tunicature or a balm of some sort will be immensely important at that point. All right, Mondek, have a good night. Appreciate you stopping in, brother. Have a good one. God bless. Good night, Bama. God bless. Be safe. Oh man, I can still sell my old Julie soap. So if y'all needing good soaps, if Julie doesn't run out soon, you might be able to hit her up for some soap on Discord channel. This is good stuff. This is really, really good stuff. This is chocolate. This is the one I can still smell. And it's in a bag. Tells you how good it is. Good night, BR. Have a good one. Thanks for coming in. God bless. Well, see, I'd probably better off just trying to pay somebody to make me a couple. Because I'm too much of a perfectionist when it comes to trying to make things, which is why the people that I've made holsters for have said it's the best holsters they've ever used. There's no sharp points. Everything's molded beautifully. All the edges are polished properly. When I make something, I try to put as much heart as I can into it. When I burn something, it's pretty simple. I tell a computer, burn, and it does what I tell it to do, as long as I tell it correctly. And so I'm very finicky about when it comes to that stuff too. I'd rather spend 5 hours trying to program it properly and have it burn once right than spend 2 minutes and have to reburn 4 or 5 pieces of wood. Matter of fact, Julie, your soap's making me hungry again, doggone it. I already ate. Yeah, I measure like 5 or 6 times. Yeah, I really don't like using alcohol if I can help it, of any kind. And that's because at one point in time in my life, I was pretty heavily drinker. I didn't know anybody I couldn't drink under the table. Let's put it that way. And I drove home drunk one night, don't remember driving home, and realized anything bad could have happened and I wouldn't have known it, and my life would have been ruined. And decided at that point in time, I wasn't doing it no more. So yeah, my youth, I was not actually I was popular, but not what you would call a really nice guy. I mean, I'd still give you the shirt off my back, but what, of the wood burning stuff? Hmm. If Gil shared my stream, then you should be able to get to my page, and there should be pictures up on my page if you go into the photos. If not, I will post some later. CR, I don't really drink anymore either. Once in a blue moon, I might take a drink, but I don't keep anything in the house as a rule. Yeah, having been in construction for a while there, fishes and loaves, yeah, I probably did that more than I care to admit. Just neither confirm nor deny said statement. Nope. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my gaming alter ego had to take care of something. I still play games once in a while. I'm still active on a Discord server for it. I never worked in a lumber yard, but I know several lumber yards up near where I used to live. And the one where my stepdad used to buy most of our lumber for the winter, they did it the old fashioned way. He still had a steam driven sawmill with a great big, huge, like it seemed like to me, I was a little kid at the time, it seemed like it was a 200-mile high saw blade. It was only like 8 foot, but sorry, I have to lean forward to make sure I read everything correctly. Don't want no faux pas. Unfortunately, that sawmill that was active when I was a kid, the gentleman passed away. The family didn't do anything with it, and most of it's just now rotting into the wilderness, which is sad. I wish I had the money. I'd go buy it all, put it back into operation somehow. Hey, welcome back. Oh, there he is even. Holy cow. Everybody, welcome. The queen. We can't hear a dang thing, man.
I'm clean.
Oh, wait. Now I can hear something.
Yeah, I'm clean now.
I had you muted by accident. I don't know if anybody could hear you or not, but I couldn't.
Yeah. Oh. So I sent you the spreadsheet to track people, and all you need to do is put a 1 under each column that they, there's a column for comments, a column for VR, a column for Facebook, column for Twitter.
Okay, I'm going to answer this real quick. Fishes and loaves. Do you realize something to play Overwatch that's capable is going to cost you guys around six and a half? If you know somebody that can build you one, and I will go find it because I actually watched it because I was getting ready to send it to Gil this evening after this is over with, a link to modern day equipment that will play that at full frame rate with no problem for under $600. You'll have to have somebody put it together for you and install your software, but it will play it with no problems. And because Gil and I were talking, what was it, about a week ago about computers, because he's wanting to upgrade. And I found a guy that builds them, and he put together a modern equivalent of a gaming computer, and it's all built from pieces. They'll even run World of Warcraft at full 60 frames a second. I mean, 60 frames a second with no issues. So, I mean, I will search for it and drop it in the post video here part of Discord.
Oh, thank you, Fishes and Love. I think I smell better too. And no, I'm not zestfully clean. I do. Actually, this is something I picked up when I was working construction and got all greasy and oily on me when I was underneath caterpillars working on, get oil dumped on me and stuff. The best body wash is Pearl shampoo. It doesn't dry your skin out too much, but it gets the oil off. It also gets off smoke, soot, and stuff. I picked that up at a scout camp. I tried it. Oh, okay, gets that off too. So,
all right, I gotta. Old man, no, but my email address is on my about page. If you follow the anti-robot thingy that they throw up, that YouTube throws up there, get with me via email, and we'll go from there. Fishes and loaves, a modern day laptop will run you $650. If you build a desktop, you can do it for $550. And Mama Z, I still play World of Warcraft. I just have learned to modernize my available time better. So if you ever want to play World of Warcraft, let me know. We'll meet up in game.
all right, guys, you're really gonna come down on me. I've never played World of Warcraft ever. My drug of choice was from the guys. WizKids were the ones that developed to begin with, and then they went got Activision to put out the first one. Actually, the first couple, and then Microsoft bought it out, and that was MechWarrior.
I used to play that too. Jerry, I'm leery of any third-party application that wants to install itself on a browser to allow me to do that, because they have access to all your information. You have to give them the permission to go through everything that you have on your YouTube channel in order for them to be able to allow you to click the dots on the side and go to another person's channel. Not only does that happen, they now get the information from that other person's channel as well. So I'm kind of leery about that. I mean, it does seem to work. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not, I'm not going to do it. But I appreciate you sending it to me. And what he's talking about, excuse me, is there is an extension now for your Chrome that if you're a YouTuber and you are a moderator in a lot of channels, or a YouTube creator, they've taken away the 3 dots on the side that allow you to report somebody or go to their, allow you to go to their channel. You can still report them, but
Yeah.
they've taken away your ability to go to their channel. This extension allows you to do that again. My concern is for me, and this is just me being paranoid, that they'll have access to my personal information on my YouTube channel, and I don't want that. I've already got too many people poking fingers at mine now.
This isn't from YouTube.
No, it's not. It's a third-party extension, and that's why I'm leery of it. I haven't.
What do YouTube do? Sell them the rights for an arm and a leg?
No, it's free.
No, but I'm just wondering why YouTube took it away, and these other guys now are there was some sort of backroom deal, had to be.
Maybe.
Because usually YouTube doesn't give stuff up so someone else can do something with it,
Well, I doubt that they gave anything up. It's just a piece of coding that they changed, and it's not hard to go behind that coding. YouTube's not that secure.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many extra companies that can backdoor things into YouTube.
Use that over in more center. There we go.
But yeah, if you're all interested, hit Jerry up. He's the one that sent me the link in the first place. But I do know people that are using it and seem to have no problem with it. It's just me being probably over paranoid.
Yeah.
Right now, I am pretty paranoid. Not to the point of fear, probably more to the point of being overcautious.
Yeah.
Because right now there's a lot of fishy things going on that I'm monitoring in the background, and until I can get confirmation, I'm not going to say one way or the other what it is.
Yeah. Oh man.
So hopefully the brush fire wasn't too bad.
It's just over between the neighbors and ours. Is between the irrigation ditch and the neighbor's house.
That's bad enough.
It was only about a 10-foot wide strip that was burning. 6 feet of mine, 4 on his. The rest of his had been mowed down already.
Well, that's why I said, Jerry, I see people using it with no issues, but I don't want to take the chance. It's just like nobody realized Zoom was being backdoored. And now that we realize Zoom is being backdoored, a lot of people aren't using Zoom anymore.
Yeah.
Did somebody forget to take away Fish and Love's coffee cup? I think she's already had one too many cups.
Okay, so that's that size.
What's that?
Tomorrow morning, I have a Bobcat mini excavator being delivered to the house here.
Cool.
Renting it for $225. Yeah, $225 a day.
It's not bad.
With a 24-inch bucket on it, not a little 1-foot bucket.
Awesome. You need somebody to come up and drive it?
I'm a Class A general engineering contractor. I've been an operating engineer for.
If you were qualified, I said, "Do you want somebody to come up and drive the dang thing?"
No, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point. The point is, I want to play on it.
Just be careful, Fish and Loaves. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
Yeah, that's the bad boy I'm getting. The E35.
Cool.
So.
Is it the one that runs on batteries? They do have them.
It's not. No, it's not a mini Bobcat. It's a Bobcat mini excavator. Whereas the big excavators, heck, I could park that in the bucket of a coring excavator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brother was a whiz on the corings. 2 scoops, he'd load up an end dump trailer, one of those big long trailers, dump trailers. 2 scoops, he'd fill one of those up. That was a big mama jammer.
Yeah, the last thing I drove was when I worked at the casino up north, and I was working maintenance at the time. I drove a front end loader, a big one. Took me about 15 minutes to get used to it, and I started driving it around like it was a car. Ah, you're crazy. Just watch. Eventually, they let me help move the snowbanks in the wintertime up there. You're pretty good at it. Go plow the drive and then take the loader and go over and move the big snowbanks. Am I getting overtime for this? Well, no. Why not? Because it shouldn't take you all dang night.
That was the loader I used to run, the 966E
Uh,
Caterpillar. That was a big one.
Yeah, I think that's about the same size.
Yes.
Of course, mind you, that was like 19. What was it? 1991 when I did it. 92, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, us boys have to have something fun to play with, doggone it.
Well,
You
put it
girls
this
can't
way.
have all the fun.
I'd graduated from the police academy. I was working for the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Department when my brother said, "Hey, I got a job for you, making twice as much money and playing in the dirt, running one of these things." So for $65 an hour, I went and played in the dirt for 10 years.
Yep, I would have too.
Yeah, fun stuff. But and then so tomorrow that's coming in the morning. That Bobcat, and then on Tuesday morning I have 300 feet of 15-inch pipe, 20-foot length sticks, 15-inch ID. It's like 19-inch OD for the irrigation ditch to finish encasing it so the kids can't step in it. Fishes and loaves, I've turned over trucks for that thing. I'm not talking pickup trucks. I'm talking semis.
Mama Z, yeah, just watch it. Matter of fact, who was it? Pusa actually did a video on them. I think it was Pusa.
Yeah, and Two Family both did it.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are an issue, and they're getting very prevalent. So just block them as soon as you can.
So basically, there are two Toms out there. If you go to the channel, one is from UK, one's from the US. Todd is listed as the US. Tim is listed as the US. More Tom is listed as UK, I believe. Tom 2 is US. And there's a couple other ones I forgot. I think he sold those off because I can't find those anywhere anymore.
There are schools for that fish and loaves. Most of them out west. I think the biggest school is actually out in Arizona, if I remember correctly. And it's been years since I looked into it because I considered it again. But
there's running heavy equipment?
Yeah, running the heavy equipment.
Santa Rosa has a huge one for the operating engineers.
Yeah, turning YouTube into Facebook. Oh, wait, they pretty much own each other. Oh, did I just give out trade secrets? Oh, no, I must work for the anti-government people. Just saying.
Whoa. Looking there what Courtney put about her husband. Yeah. Let me go ahead and bring that down.
My biggest issue right now with all these, and this is what I was alluding to earlier. I have a lot of friends on Facebook that are, clamoring, this ain't that bad. It's not that bad. And they're wanting to clamor for the states to reopen. And all other countries that are reopening right now are seeing a massive second surge of the dragon. Just go check out Italy right now. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go do some research. Go type away and do some research. You'll
Yeah.
find what I'm saying is true. And Trump already admitted he didn't want to see this happen. He doesn't want to see a second wave. Unfortunately, states like Michigan and many others they're actually making the situation worse.
Yeah. What's making the situation worse are the idiots out there, and I repeat, idiots, mental midgets who have blinders on and rose-colored glasses who think, oh, this is nothing. I'm not going to get it. They get it and they spread it to 10 other people before they wind up.
Yeah. They don't even know they got it. And you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Corsair Trainers because he put out a video. I think it was today.
That 2-minute video?
Yeah, that aptly explains what's happening. People will Google. First thing they see that agrees with them, that's what I'm sticking with. Rather than doing research and trying to read both sides of the coin. That's what I do. I don't just go looking for something that agrees with what I'm saying. I do some research. And, if I'm going to research the dragon, I'm not going to look for the first thing that agrees with me. I'm going to look for the first 10 things that don't agree with me and see what everybody's saying. Then I'll go look for the things that I believe are true and read what they're saying. Then I'm going to go try and find somebody who doesn't care what I think and is just putting out the absolute truth. And that's the one I'm probably going to listen to.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they're not flattening the curve. Michigan's going to see a massive spike if they don't sit on their butts. And you know what? Yeah, it stinks. Sitting in, I live it already. Okay, so it doesn't bother me as much as it does some of these people who are used to working. Yes, it completely.
All right, Dave, I'm going to send you this link. I meant to send it to you yesterday, but there's a news article out here, and it's from Live Science. And basically, it's talking about in California, Santa Clara County. It says between 50 and 80 times as many people in Santa Clara County have had the red dragon or have the red dragon antibodies and have been tested positive for the virus. Mm-hmm. So basically, there's all these people that had one of the mild versions of it, boom, boom, gone and done with. 50 to 80 times as many people than what they thought. But on the good side, that means that there are a lot of people now that are developing antibodies because they've been hit with a weaker version of this, one of the weaker mutations. And cross your fingers, people. Hopefully, with those antibodies, they will be immune to the heavier one.
Well, that's what they're hoping. But the problem and the doctor that, there's two different doctors in Israel right now, both on each side, one on each side of the coin. One saying that all viruses only last 2 weeks. Well, this current virus blew it up out of the water. That 2-week thing doesn't hold water here because we've had people with it still symptomatic for upwards of a month in the hospital in intensive care. Okay, that blows the whole 2-week thing out of the water because they were affected 2 weeks before they went to the hospital.
Yeah.
So that blew that one out of the water. There's another doctor who says there is something that he's trying to prove and or disprove that with the different mutations, those who have had it once, if they get exposed to the different mutation, will get it a second time because the mutation is different. Therefore, the antibodies that they've already developed are not as effective. Now, the second time around may be a lot less bad than the first time. So if they only had mild symptoms the first time, the second time they get it, they'd be really mild.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, no. Ohio's already said the first. Ohio's following everybody else. And I really dread having to go to the store when that hits.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to put this out there for everybody else to be able to go read and peruse at their leisure.
mm,
That's about the thing that Gil just talked about.
yeah. So I mean, I read through it. It's a real down the middle. It's not going this way. It's not going that way. It's just saying, hey, this stuff's out here. Hopefully, it means good.
Right. And the more people they find with antibodies, it is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But with the possibility of a second wave or a reinfection of somebody who's already had it, and China's already admitted that those who caught it a second time, they didn't count.
Yeah.
They never acknowledged the fact. They just sent them home and sent them packing. China has admitted that. Yes, Charles is only online school. And I've already talked to the teachers, and I said if they open up school this year, I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
And so far, the teachers have already told me right now it doesn't look like they're going to open up the schools themselves.
Yeah.
Everything else may open, but the schools will remain down for the rest of this school year and possibly the beginning of next school year.
Yeah.
That part is still up in the air.
Yeah. The only thing in this article which is wrong is they're using the wrong formula to calculate the death rates.
Everybody is, because it's not as scary.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this is why Gil and I have tried to educate you guys on the numbers thing. Because, see, I'm a numbers guy. I love numbers.
I'm married to an accountant.
So between the two of us, we like numbers.
Yeah.
So when all these people are using the total number of cases versus the sad deceased part, that's an error. It's just, and to prove why it's an error is, well, it's no worse than the flu. Only X number of people got it and this number of people died. Okay, that's a finished number. It's a completely resolved set of numbers. So to figure out a true CFR, you have to have resolved numbers.
Yeah.
Which is why you can't use total number versus those who have sadly passed away. Because even one death is sad. I'm not taking anything away from that. I feel bad for every one of those families. And no amount of prayer for one person can make that any better. It takes a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you have to use resolved cases in one way or another in order to come up with a true CFR. And if you've been watching Peak Prosperity, I sent him an email a while back, and then I posted on one of his videos, and he finally admitted that they need to take and look at a shift between today and a while back. Now he's saying it's a week, and a week is a slightly better number because it's starting to balance out at a certain number, and that's right around 7%, which 7% is a pretty scary number.
From the numbers from Roy Lab here, for a 2-week shift currently, we're up to 15%. On a 1-week shift, we're up to 23%. And a straight even for the day, you take the number straight across on the day, it says 36%, which gives you a worst case scenario. But the thing is, you have people that it takes, several weeks, 3, maybe 4 weeks for some people to recover, and others it takes less. So the way to do it here, let me scroll it down on this just a little bit. Okay, so you can't take this number here, which is the total cases, and divide it into the total number of Boot Hill cases. That don't work because these are not resolved. The way you get your resolved number, you add your Boot Hill cases and your recover, and you get this number. You then divide this number into this number here into this number, and that gives you this number over here. Now, if you do a 1-week shift, it's taking this number here, going back a week, and that gives you the lower number of 23 over here. Now, if I do a 2-week shift, that takes it back 2 weeks for the deceased rate with the current number ones doing it, And that gives you the even lower number over here.
Which is what kind of boggles my mind. And, my pastor today, he said, why are they inflating the numbers? And I can tell you why they're inflating the numbers. It's money. Oh my goodness, we had an extra 852 deaths this week. Mr. Federal Government, can we have an extra $200 million, please? Oh, we lost another $300,000 because these 82 people were massive people in our community. Can we get another $1 million, please? It's money. That's why some numbers are being inflated. It's money.
But if you look,
the real numbers are actually that high or higher. Okay. There are people who are dying in their home because they were told to go home unless they couldn't breathe. And these are elderly people or people who live by themselves and they're dying in their home. But guess what the cause of death is? Natural causes. So there's deaths that are not being reported.
Yeah.
On top of the deaths that are being fudged.
Yeah. Now,
so the actual number for deaths is probably accurate because there's a lot of misrepresentation on both sides of that coin. Yeah. Go ahead, Gil.
Now, what I think is being underreported a little bit, looking at what's going on, the recovered numbers I think are actually underreported, and the total number of cases, because there are people who are getting the mild one, or even the more severe ones aren't being tested. They're being sent home. They're being sent home, so they're not tested. So they are not counted in this blue column here.
Lori's two kids.
Yeah. So this number here is low, which means the recovered ones is low as well.
Mm-hmm.
The only one thing they got a close handle on is the Boot Hill cases, and even that may be cattywampus as well.
It's just like I tried telling in my last video. There was a Facebook post I replied to, and they were saying, this is no better. The flu is a lot worse. And I said, look, you're comparing apples and oranges here. Basically, I said, the flu you're looking at a 365 set of numbers. We've been in this right around 100 days right now here in the US. Italy, 130. Oh, no, 122. Sorry. And they're starting to see their second wave, but I didn't mention that. I said, if you take the number of cases going through all their numbers, it averages out to 355 people per million who passed away. Okay. Take that 355 per million and bring that to the United States. That's just under 1 million people who could have died if we had not done the social distancing that they've asked for, or physical distancing.
And if everybody had done that from the beginning, when it was first suggested,
our numbers would be maybe
half,
a tenth. I would say a tenth of what we currently have.
Yeah. But you see, if everybody had done what they were supposed to do, even if it were like they talk on the regular flu, wash your hands, do this, cover your mouth, when you sneeze, all this stuff. If everybody had done that stuff from the get-go when it was first talked about back in January, we could have reduced it a lot. And if the CDC had followed the tactical response plan, it would have been, under 1,000.
But unfortunately, we had people telling our president, and whether you voted for him or not, he's our president. I mean, he is commander in chief. He's the one at the White House. Okay. I'm not going to get into a political debate of whether he's good, bad, or indifferent. But we had people from the CDC telling him, it's not that bad. There's no human-to-human transmission at the very beginning. Fauci even said it. Mm-hmm. There's no proof of human-to-human transmission. We do not have to worry about. Trump said, close down the flight travel. Trump did it. Okay. Now they're saying he didn't do enough because he was told at the very beginning by people who were supposed to be his confidant, the people he can trust, they lied to him. So now when he's trying to get things straightened out after being lied to for so long, everybody's trying to make him out to be the liar when he just did what he thought was right because of what he was told by people who he trusted to be honest with him. When
and it wasn't just
lies to us and the WHO lies to us, and which they are now being implicated in it. That's a big problem for all of us because we all wind up suffering in the end because of a political agenda from a entity
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, shouldn't exist in the first doggone place.
Yeah. And the thing is, so see those at the CDC that were putting this out also were giving the misinformation to members of Congress as well.
Mhm.
So that's why no one from Congress was screaming about it either, because they were getting the same false information. Oh, you don't need to wear a mask. It's not airborne. Oh, it's not this. You don't need that. Oh, no. It only lasts a couple minutes on surfaces.
And yes, Cecilia, your favorite friend there and our friend have closed the border for another month as a precautionary measure. I can see both benefits and downside of that. I can see it both ways. So, do I agree with it? Kind of yes and kind of no. Do I believe everybody who doesn't need to be out and about should stay at home? Yes. Do I believe that you need to go outside for any reason, to a store or otherwise, that you should wear a mask and gloves? Yes. Do I believe some governors are overreaching? Yes. Do I think those governors need to be expelled? Yes.
And
I run for governor? Yeah, I'm running for governor. Y'all got to vote for me, please. Then I can do a job where I don't have to do anything.
and it's not just the governors. There are a bunch of people in the state senates and legislatures that are overreaching as well. And Butch just sent me an email today about a bill that the Democrats are pushing, and they've got a couple of they've even got some Republicans to buy in on it on the Hill that for basically a national red flag law.
Oh, the HR 5712.
Let's see where I want to make sure I get the right one here. Jerry, come on, what happened to it? I lost it.
Yes, Caitlin. There's tomfoolery, if we want to be it politely about it, going on at virtually every single level there is. There's somebody with deep pockets going, y'all got to do this, or we're taking this away from you.
Yeah, 5717.
Oh, 17. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically, and not only that, they're setting up so it's different. So it's something about the judges are set up special for it, and it's a secret ruling first.
Let's call it what it is. It's a tribunal.
Yeah.
You go in front of it, you're guilty before proven innocent. And even when you're proven innocent, guess what? You're still guilty. You still have no rights. It's a tribunal. It's not a court. There's no court of your peers. It's a tribunal. I'm going to call out exactly what it is without even doing a whole lot of research. I don't have to. It's the same misleading crap that they try to pull every single time there's an issue. As one Democrat once said, don't let a good disaster go to waste.
Yeah.
No, at least at FISA, eventually you get to say something.
You want to hear who the Republicans are who have signed on to this?
No, because I'll probably blast him with an email.
Well, one of them's from your state.
Oh, I'm not surprised. He's a rhino.
So there's one from Missouri, one from Michigan, one from Texas, one from Indiana, and those are just some of the ones that are listed who are backing Nancy Pelosi's.
The rhinos.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're also not the ones up for re-election this year.
Yeah.
Their re-election is in another 2 years. So they can get away with it this turnaround. They don't have to worry about re-election.
Yeah.
Mama Z, what jerk from Texas?
What jerk? That'd be William Hurd. Actually, let's see how many if I can do this here. Not sure this is going to fit.
Get him, Mama Z. Get him.
Uh,
That good old Southern justice would be like. Yes, Kaylin, that is true. These are, well, no, let me rephrase that. Most of them probably do own them. They are surrounded by people with high-powered ones that are fully auto. Okay, don't let them fool you. Most of them security guards that follow them are packing MP5s. They are small submachine guns that have full auto capability. They shoot 9mm rounds at a blazing rate. I fired one once. It was so much fun.
and
Yeah, Balderson, I know.
there's some more names on that.
Yeah, I remember something about that. Yeah, what's funny is that a whole bunch of armed security guards came out and blocked it all off. But see, they won't even touch. When you bring that argument up to them, they turn away and they shift the conversation. If you want to get rid of all the guns, then you need to get rid of these guys that are trigger happy. Oh, they're not trigger happy. They are to me. They scare me. I'm afraid they're going to hurt somebody. So they got to get rid of their guns. I'm calling red flag law on all your security guards. That's what we can do, folks. There you go. They want to start pushing that. Start fighting back. The easiest way to fight the system is use the system against itself. And in this case, it's the proper way to do it. Because you know what? Some of them security guards are nothing more than a bunch of knuckle dragging, testosterone-filled buffoons. That all they know is how to pick it up, point it, and pull a trigger. Now, mind you, not all of them. There are some that are very smart and intelligent. But the ones that scare me, I'm disabled. I'm not as spry as I used to be. I can't go to hand-to-hand combat with some of these guys anymore.
Yeah.
So they scare me. I'm afraid they're going to hurt me. I'm afraid they're going to hurt somebody in the community. So they need to lose their weapons too.
Let's find this other thing here.
Yeah, creative. I'm actually impressed with some of the companies that have stepped up to do it, and they're doing an awesome job, and they need to be rewarded, if that's the right word, for their efforts rather than ridiculed right now. He's searching.
Yeah, there was one of those companies I was trying to find the vice governor of or deputy governor, what do you want to call it, of Idaho. She is far right, and she had on her Facebook page a talking about a company in Idaho that's making PP&E, and another company from Idaho, a freight charter airline company, is hauling it to Sacramento, California, for the libtards. Try to, I put that in there, but it was just taking it to California for supposedly to distribute it properly, but.
Yep, and if I had a 3D printer, mine would be running constantly, producing them for my local hospital. But I don't have one. And I don't have a sewing machine. And these old paws, they don't sew very good anymore. I'd have more holes in my finger than I did the cloth. Oh, darn it. I can't use that one. It's covered in blood.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just came across a post of a video of Nancy Pelosi bragging about her stockpile of $12 per pint ice cream.
Yeah,
in a $24,000 fridge. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm prepared. Yeah, she didn't actually go out and buy that. Somebody else went and bought it for her.
Yeah.
She didn't want to leave her house.
Yeah.
She's drinking wine and never mind, because then I'll start being very unchristian, and that's not the way I want to be. I don't want to be that way. It's, that's the kind of thing that gets my goat, and I have to go tie it back up.
Okay, come on. Let's try and there we go.
Oh, I've got bandanas. I got shmigas. I've got masks. Charles and I are good as far as that goes. I was prepared before this hit in order for me to be able to give half of what I had away and still have plenty. So, I appreciate it though. Mouse actually offered to make some for me and Charles as well, and I appreciate the offers. But if you are so inclined to give locally, please.
All right. So I got I found it here. Yeah, okay, so emergency ventilators built by Idaho's Percussion Air are being airlifted to Sacramento by Idaho's Kodiak Aircraft Company. These are simple, low-cost emergency and ventilators. Regan Designs is helping percussions build 4,000 of these ventilators in less than a month. So another company in Post Falls is providing the circuit boards. Another one up, Spartan manufacturer for Sandpoint. Yes, there's a bunch of companies out here, yay, in my state, that are coming together to build these ventilators and get them delivered to California.
You know what? For me, you know what I'd like to see more on Facebook instead of all this. We need to open up our states. Let's get rid of these people. Let's be angry about it. I'd rather see that same number of people get together and say, you know what? This, forgive the vernacular, sucks. But rather than be angry about it, let's band together. We've got, 80,000 people. Let's all of us get together and start producing different things to start donating to our local first responders. Yep. I've been trying to build up something to give to my local first responders, and right now it's kind of difficult because everything that I wanted to include is suddenly now out of stock everywhere. And what is available is super expensive if you can get it.
Yeah. And that's our what is it? Deputy governor, or whatever position it is, vice governor, depending on which state calls them different things. Yeah. So.
Well, I do know how to cook, so I guess I could do the snack things. Darn it. I got a couple apple fritters in the freezer.
How many kits were you planning on doing?
I'm just doing 10.
10? Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody out there who sews, can you sew up 10 masks and send them to, the washable ones that have the pocket so they can put the filters in the pocket? Send them to Dave. I don't sew. Well, I do sew, but my sewing machine's in California.
Because the reason I'm actually thinking about getting back into making kydex is because, that's something I'm already going to make. I'm going to make sure each one of them have one of these. Here, let me do this. I'm already going to make some of these and give each one of the bags one of these. It's something a little personal. But I've also got some ink pens, some notepads. I want to get some hand sanitizer for each bag, a mask or two, and maybe a new holster for them. Because most of them are using Glock 17s now, so I can make a bunch of Glock 17 holsters and put those in there with them too, with the understanding that if they need a different style, I can do that as well. which is why I'm probably not going to be showing anybody anything until after that's completely all done with, because I'm going to have a huge mess cutting and grinding and polishing and melting and probably putting a extra hole or two in my fingers.
Yeah.
But I think, handmade gifts right now are greatly appreciated more sentimentally than pre-manufactured ones. If you hand them a box of masks, the paper, the cloth, not cloth, but the fabric ones you can buy in a box, they're great, appreciate it. But when they get something that's handmade, there's a little bit more of an emotion involved. It's just my personal thought. I wish I still had my mom. My mom moved from Detroit, Michigan up to Mount Pleasant area. When my father passed away, she bought a Singer that had the little cogs that you plugged into it and you could put it in different positions. She paid over $2,000 for that in 1978 or 77. 77, I'm sorry. She paid over $2,000 for the sewing machine in 1977. So
I think this is so hilarious. I'm reading the side chat here.
I missed it.
I've done more sewing than a lot of these ladies out here saying, I haven't used mine in over a year. I haven't used mine in 15 years. This summer I was sewing when I was still in California.
Here, girls, I'll help you. Golf clap.
Come on, girls. If a old fart like me gets out and sews, drag them things out and sew fun stuff.
Yeah, if an old DHS man can do it, you can do it too. I challenge.
That's right, CR. Sewing is not just for the ladies.
No, that's one of the things my mom taught me at about, I think I was maybe 7. My mom taught me how to sew and then sew properly.
Yeah. Of course, I still haven't learned how to use my wife's serger. But I can do amazing things on my mom's old Netchi.
Now they're giving it to you. Mm-hmm.
But the string to make them is...
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some things that are very low in supply.
Yeah.
Even Scott's wife was, what's her name?
Olivia.
Olivia, that's it, Olivia. She was having problems trying to find some stuff, and Kathy from North Star Prepstetter actually got her hooked up with some stuff too. I think Mims helped out as well.
Yeah, if you check around at now
my Walmart I got all kinds of stuff in stock.
Yeah, so does mine up here too. But Michael's, Hobby Lobby, some of the other places that and the smaller hobby stores like that and everything might have the elastics. Trying to think. Certain garden supplies, nurseries and stuff. We're stocking it to use for ties for plants.
Yeah, well, when my dad passed away, my mom had to become mother and father, and she wanted to make sure I could cook, clean, sew better than anybody she knew. And by the time I was 11, I could cook a 4-course meal, wash the dishes, throw the stuff in the laundry, and darn the doggone socks if needed.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, aren't those the Netchis great? I mean, especially if they're ones with a built-in cabinet and the whole thing. So you open the top up and it folds up out of there. You got a nice big working area on those things. Yeah, my mom won that on Queen for a Day back in 47, 48.
What I would like to get me actually, and I've seen a couple local on Craigslist, but I've never had the funds to get it when they've been up there, is the old fashioned pedal singers, the old cast iron singer, where it's got the teeter toddle pedal underneath that you use to control the needle. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind one of those because it's human powered.
Mm. What I liked about the Nechi has a leg post that comes down, and as you push on that, you can control the speed. It has a great, variance of how far you push that thing to how fast it goes. I don't know the electrical pedals for the singers and stuff just don't have the sensitivity and the grace of the one you move with your knee.
And for the other guys out there who think that they shouldn't do it, Rural Readiness's son, Nina, her son, is a wizard when it comes to that old singer style that I just mentioned. He was actually sewing shoulder straps for weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if he can do that with one of those, should be able to get you doing something else. Just saying. Yeah, see, I used to be pretty good at buttons too, but now I wind up with more holes in my finger than I do the cloth. And I don't realize it until I've blood all over everything. It's like, that's one of them, backward raised. That's her other boy. I was talking about the boy that lives in the trailer next to her house. But yeah, backwards raised is pretty good at stuff too. But yeah, there are days I can't feel my fingertips, and I'll wind up sticking a needle into them, and then I bleed all over everything. Then I can't use what I was doing.
That's why I love those nice thimbles, the long ones, not the little short ones that go this much. I like the long ones that come way down over my whole finger. Just jam it on there, and I can go to town. Yeah. The other thing I have for sewing is
it's all right, Kayla.
One of those one of those canvas all things with a thread on. You push it through and feed it to the other side.
Yeah, see, when my stepdad, I should rephrase that correctly. My stepdad was in the leatherworking. He taught me how to use one of those because he taught me how to make a belt and how to leather craft it with stamps and the gouges and everything else. But I was 10 at the time. So it's been that long, and I'm over 50 now since I've actually done that. So my skills at it, while I have basic knowledge, my skills are pretty lame compared to other people right now. I wouldn't even want to do it because I don't think I could make it well enough to where I'd be happy letting it out of the house.
Okay. Rubber thimbles, not a big fan of, because even those, I've poked myself through those.
You're fine, CR. We all have rubber thimble moments. That's why I don't type much. My spelling is atrocious. I can speak the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious words. Do not ask me to type it out. I ain't doing it. Unless I got a Google Voice thing down there that will say it for me. Yep. Even with silicone, you can still get a pin through it. Yeah, I used to watch my mom make quilts when we lived up. My mom was still alive and very active. My mom would take and go to, like Salvation Army or church thrift stores, and she would buy bags of the clothes that they were getting rid of, or sheets or stuff like that that were, holy or something like that. They couldn't sell, and she'd buy bags of that. She'd take it home and she'd come up into 6-inch squares. And I'm gonna watch my mom go to Walmart and buy a bunch of batting, and then find nice sheets to put on the bottom side of it. And she'd make quilts for the homeless people. And my mom had her issues, but there were times when I looked at my mom like she was a saint. I watched my mom probably make, 1 year alone, she made like 60 quilts.
Fishes and loaves. My mom would smack us if we did not use the washing machine and dryer. She goes, "You're old enough. I'm not washing your stuff no more. You wash it." That was when we were 10. And so I passed that on to my kids. Oh, Dave, did you take offense with my VR, the little icon?
Ugh. No, because I kind of actually agree with it.
Good. I thought you would. I just wanted to make sure. I lost your Ohio prepping.
You should have said so. I've got one that's perfect size for that now.
Well, yeah, I lost. I don't want to bug you on that. I know. I think I may have one on my backup drive. I may have accidentally moved it over there. But I just saw Google Ohio, silhouette. And there was a whole bunch of them just saying, worst state ever. This, that, and then one that finally said Ohio, worst state ever. And I found the grumpy, and the two were just fit perfectly together. It's like, yes.
Yeah, I'm just not a dwarf. Thanks. Well, I hope so, because I know there's a lot of small businesses here in every single state that have been drastically affected bad because of this. And the sad part is the SBA ran out of money 8 days before they were supposed to, which means I got a funny feeling there's some businesses out there that are going, "Yep, we pulled the one over on the government this time. We got our money."
Yeah, Ruth Chris Steakhouses got an enormous. They were one of the first ones to put the money in real quick. They got an enormous, insane amount of money, and then everybody else after that, all of a sudden the amounts they started lowering it down. Somebody got a kickback for approving that one. That was wrong.
Unfortunately, the businesses that really need it right now aren't getting it.
Yeah.
And what some of these businesses aren't realizing, and there's a condition to that, you need to maintain 50% of your payroll in order for the loan to be forgiven. Unfortunately, for some of these companies, the bigger ones that got this, their employees have already left and went on unemployment, because guess what? You're making more on unemployment. Some of these people are making up to $60 an hour on unemployment right now, when they were making like 15 to 20. So why would you go back to your employer and say, "Okay, I'll stay here," when you can go on unemployment and live like a king, if you can buy anything you need, that is.
Yeah, because their employer was only paying them so much, and they were making all this extra money on tips. And
there's like South Carolina. If you made $15 an hour, you're qualified for it's like $200 a week. I don't remember the exact number because it's been years since I was ever on it. But they get an extra $600 a week for being on unemployment. So they're making $800 a week on unemployment. Why would you go back to your employer for $200 a week? Okay. And Lindsey Graham brought it up on Fox. He brought it up on MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and nobody's listening. It's a huge issue. Why? You're incentivizing people to quit the jobs. So some of these really small businesses that did manage to get the SBA loan, their employees left. They're not liable for that loan. And with no income.
Unless they can hire some other employees to replace them.
Well, they got to bring their workforce back up to a minimum of 50%, if I read it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm usually pretty good about that because I'm a detail kind of guy. Well, here in the U.S., there are some people who are supposed to qualify for it and didn't. Still no rhyme or reason, but I don't. So this whole thing about helping those who need help, which I mean, I'm good because I was smart. I already had stuff prepped. Is there more stuff I could use? Most definitely.
Yeah.
There's always holes that we'd love to fill. But I'm thinking more along the lines of those people who are 50 or 60, 70, 80, who can't afford their medication on a normal month, who are going, the cost of our food just went up. Our medicines are going up if we can get there to get it. They really need that money. And guess what? Some of them people ain't got it either. So in my opinion, those people are ones that need it more than, half the people that got it. But hey, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as my preps and stuff go, Brandon, the guy across the street that gave me those, the tote liners. I'm not sure how many, we got to check, see if I even put that video out yet, but I got I got 8 IBC tote liners that he had surplus. He'd taken the bottom half of the liner, or the bottom 10 inches, cut that off, took the top off away, and he was making cattle feeders out of it. Well, the part that he was tossed away, he wasn't going to use, he was going to dump them. And I said, hey, I'll take them. So he gave me 8 of them. And I've been making planners on it. And I got a video. I don't think I put the video out yet, so I got to get the video done here tonight.
Well, you showed the one in that one video where you had the barrels.
The one with the boards around it?
No, I think it was empty at the time.
Okay.
It's the one you put out the other day where you're showing the barrels and some of your field work.
Okay. But where the barrels were, I got one that's 3 feet tall, and I've put the boards to reinforce it and got it filled. But he told me he would sell me, he can get me the whole cage, the whole thing for $35 each.
That's not bad. That'd be great water storage.
So I'm going to get 6 of them. And well, these have had fertilizer in them. Basically, it's a lot of it is the seaweed fertilizer. Where they take the seaweed, grind it all up, and everything well, that's what it has in it. Those things stink for a while.
Well, what I would do then is you'd use that for rain. Well, at least a couple for rain catchment, and use that to water the gardens.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut the top 14 inches off. Take with the cage, take that off, turn that over, and use that as a shallow, planter. And then the other ones, I'm just going to start filling it up with hay, manure, little dirt tossed in there, and until it gets to the top, and it'll pack down within a third of the way in a month. But I can still grow stuff like spinach, lettuce, and stuff in that this year, and then I'll add more to it next year. But it's like I really wish I could afford to go get, for each of these containers, get about 10 bags of the Kellogg's raised planter bed mix to top it all off with. And but we're gonna on my east field. My neighbor Curtis wants to use a quarter of it to plant corn. I'm going to use a quarter of it to plant corn. And then we're going to be planting pumpkins and watermelon and squash and zucchini and all sorts of stuff out there. And so, we're trying to figure out, on getting some more loads of manure from the dairy for out there. But like you said, most of the stuff, he figures, he's only going to use it like of the quarter he's going to plant, quarter of the property he's going to plant. He's going to use a quarter of that corn. The rest of it he's going to give away.
Old man, I would check with Social Security and see if they got any answers, because I know I haven't gotten any. Everywhere I keep running and I run into this great big huge gray wall that says you are not eligible. But why? We can't tell you. But why? Because we are the government. We don't have to tell you anything. Well, Mama Z, if it comes with Social Security, you're right. 2 weeks, next Friday. Not this coming Friday, but the following. Because the 3rd is on a Sunday. So those who get checks on the 3rd will actually get it on the 1st. So that's when you'll find out. Ooh, rhubarb. Yum. My mom used to make an awesome rhubarb pie. I could only eat one piece of it because that was so rich.
CJ at Shit Happens is planning rhubarb and ramps. And if nobody's had ramps, I know when I was in West Virginia.
I go on rants daily.
And no, ramp, R-A-M-P, and not the ramp to get on and off the freeway. Oh. It's like a wild onion, cross between a wild onion and rhubarb. And they used to, in West Virginia to have ramp festivals, and everybody eats it because if you don't eat it and you're around people that have eaten it, you're like, get away, bad breath. So everybody eats it in self-defense.
Hi, how are you?
Exactly.
Fine. Well, not anymore. All right, I'm gonna leave you in charge, Bill. I need to go make me a cup of coffee real quick.
All right. Where do you get ramps to grow? Well, I know now in Northeast Ohio is where CJ at Shit Happens is at. I know in West Virginia, and I was in Buchanan, West Virginia, and I know they had it in Weston and Elkins. You know, so northern West Virginia, even a little bit in far western Pennsylvania. Around Pittsburgh and towards Ohio. So I'm not sure. It's kind of like, unfortunately, I left that area before I got transferred before the festival came up. I was so looking forward to trying it, but like eating onions and garlic. Yeah. And and he said it kind of looks like rhubarb, and they make pies just like rhubarb pie. They ramp pies. They do all sorts of fun stuff with it down there. Yeah, they domesticated it there, and they grow it in their gardens, and they harvest it all over the place. But one of my friends back there we were talking a couple of years ago, and they said, yeah, they need to include that in one of the zombie movies, because that would definitely kill a zombie. The zombie hadn't eaten it. Oh, CR. Yeah, whenever they were telling me it was more like garlic and cross between garlic and rhubarb. And you guess the leaves look kind of like rhubarb, but it's got the bulb like garlic or whatever. So I'm not sure about an OBA is needed there. Okay, I'm lost. Sorry, I'm lost. That TLA doesn't compute. Oh, TLA is a 3-letter acronym. Nice chatting. All right, Allie. Ollie.
Yep, Allie. Good night. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. God bless. Be safe. Okay, what did I miss? Anything good?
Everyone talked about ramps and the some to say it tastes like smells like onions. Um,
I love onions.
yeah, yeah. Some people, CR said he'd never heard of people cultivating them, but or was that no? That was something else. That was someone else. Not CR said that. Fishes Aloe says they grow wild, but didn't know they were grown as a crop. Yeah, people grow actually in West Virginia grow them, in their gardens because the ramp festival. Everybody's trying to protect themselves.
Hey, Tinker's wife. Good evening.
Hey, Patty.
Rolling Stone and Wild. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Hey,
Rolling
Mark.
Stone. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Mark.
Sorry for the faux pas there.
Yeah. So,
I actually have wild onions growing out here in the front, but they've sprayed it so much in the last couple of years, they're not edible, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they don't grow very big. They only grow like maybe 8.5 inches tall. But they've sprayed so much over here that I wouldn't trust eating them. They spray chemicals around here like they spray water a lot.
They get a big discount from Monsanto.
No, these are just weed killing germs. That's all they're spraying.
Yeah, Roundup, Monsanto.
No, they don't use Roundup. Use it, but it's not Roundup. I know that.
Yeah.
Because the lead maintenance guy, Gary, and I are pretty decent friends, and we chit chat about stupid things sometimes. And that's
man, dang. That's what I got. Thank you, Cecilia. You remind me of something else I got to put on the list of stuff to get because I know that elderberries grow here in Idaho.
Sards. They have elderberry kits.
Elderberry.
Berry.
Circle that.
The other night they still had some kits available. I'll leave it at that. I don't know. Yes.
Oxygen breathing apparatus.
Yes.
Oh, like my CPAP machine. No, that's just the pressure. That's not pure oxygen.
Awesome. Congratulations. She broke the 1,000.
Woo! Yay, Patty.
I inched a little closer tonight myself. Word for Art IB. I will look while we wait for that to load up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's what they spray mainly around here for is weeds and stuff and the dandelions. So I can't even eat the dandelions here.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I have a field of them.
Well, that would make Ron and Howie upset.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't bring it up.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, where am I at? I'm at. I'm just hanging at that 870 mark. I got him up to 871. Now I'm back down to 869. Tomorrow I'll be at 870 again. And I got to get the other videos out.
I am at 762.
Oh, you went up too.
Well, I was at 754 when I started tonight.
Oh, okay, because mine says 760 here when I signed on.
Yes, you is a chatty woman. That is for sure. And we appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, you'll get there, Wide Family. Don't worry. You'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, at the beginning, it took me a long time to get up to, my first 200.
The first 500 is what really takes forever. Once you break that 500 mark, whether you're putting out a lot of content or not, your videos will start getting pushed out a little bit more by the AI. And that's when you start actually seeing you start moving up a little bit faster. And then you'll slow down around the 740, 750 mark for a little bit. Then you'll speed back up a little bit. And
Yeah.
You want to update it because mine's live tracking, but then you'll speed up a little bit up to around 850. Then it'll slow down a little bit. Then you bump up to about 975. Then it'll slow down for even more. Then you'll finally break that 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
See, I've been putting up YouTube videos on this channel for over a year now. So it's taken me some time. Gil shows up new on the scene and he's already ahead of me.
Well, I got lucky though. I got into 2 really good groups.
Mhm.
And I got into a preparedness group here with Uncle Al and Will and Dave. And then I got into the homesteading with, Stringfield Ridge and the Broussards and those guys.
So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
helped you out there, that stuff.
Yeah.
Me, not so much. I just a nobody. And that's okay. I like being nobody most of the time. But sometimes,
Yeah.
Yep, 2 family.
Oh, okay. It's 10:40 here.
Yeah, I got much later here.
Yeah, you got 12:40. I got an excavator coming in the morning first thing, so I got to get up early and get out there and get the gate open and be ready for them.
Yeah, you got work to do. You
Yeah.
get to go outside and play, and I gotta sit inside. I may actually walk to Walmart tomorrow if it's not raining.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. What does this say here? One last quick check on this. Just to see what it says for now. It's
Right, family. Have a good
now.
night.
I got rain Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Yeah.
And don't forget, y'all, prayer time with Mama Z. 12:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central tomorrow morning. And 4/20/20. So if y'all available, go check out Mama Z. Get you a little extra prayer time going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like most of y'all are gonna run off.
Yeah, we're all getting tired.
Oh, I'm just getting started. Where y'all been, huh?
Yeah.
I used to drive truck, and my favorite time to drive truck is when y'all were sleeping. Because then I could run the road. Well, I'm not proud of it, but there were some roads where I'd run 120 mile an hour in a semi. Very dangerous, but when you've got 8 hours to get somewhere, it takes 7 hours to get there, and you want to still get 3 hours of sleep. You do triple digit numbers when you can.
Yeah.
But I also didn't do it anywhere that if something were to happen, that, I would hurt anybody but myself. Yeah, for 2020, if you can see through the smoke, you're right.
Ooh, I just realized something.
Oh,
Hidden Valley Homestead did not do a live tonight. Oh, he was installing ham radio in his truck all day, and he just got done about 46 minutes ago. Oops. Yeah. Okay.
that explains it.
That explains it. Uh, 9 to 5 life, 9 to 5 to life. Put out a video earlier, and I was first one on it, and he and I were talking back and forth, and well, Scott's not in here. He must have been this and that and the other thing, and he made comments about he was probably trying to find his glasses so he could do his live, and we were picking on Scott. And Scott replied back on the stream of comments, "You guys suck."
Yeah. Sorry for the excess noise. Ham radio right here, Fish and Loaves. $40. Baofeng. And this is the F8 Plus. Simple, cheap. It's good for local. If you want to reach around the world, you're going to have to spend a lot more money.
Fishes and loaves. Do you have your license yet?
Don't have
If
to
not,
monitor.
to monitor it, to listen, yeah, but to broadcast. I have downloaded the pool of questions in a format that we use to teach the ham radio ham cram class. If you need it, it's on the Asset Center.
You also had me
page.
post on Discord.
Yeah, and it's on Discord. Yeah, that's right. We put it up on Discord. So basically, that's just the pool of questions they draw the 35 questions from. And they'll take some from this section, some from that section, some from this section, some from that section. And it's random like the driver's license questions are.
And let me double check. Yes. Tech pool questions is in the radio room under survival guides on the Discord channel. So if you need to go there and check it out on the Discord, go to survival guides. Second one down is radio room. It is the post marked March 23rd, 2020. Tech pool questions.
Yeah. So fishes and loaves. To get your ham radio license. All right. The pool of questions will help for a study guide. But if you check around in your area for a Salvation Army puts on classes all over the place for free.
So do some series groups.
Yes. And yeah, so there's several different groups, and some CERT groups even do it. And some Aries and some Mars groups do it, and some radio clubs. The radio clubs will do it too.
And depending on your local first responders, there are some fire departments that do it as well.
Yeah. So what you can do is, I know the format for the Salvation Army is pretty much standard nationwide. And they use the pool of questions to do the same thing that I did to it, pull off the things, but they don't give it to you till you're in the class. It does cost $10 to take the test. And once you pass the test, your license is good for 10 years. It's free to renew, but you got to renew it, before it expires. And you can renew it online. You just go into, yep, I am still active, blah, 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 check, boom, boom. And they send you a new license. Well, same license number, and they just send it to you.
Unless, of course, you want a special one.
Yeah.
And I've already reserved my call sign, so.
Yeah. So there's
years.
And there's all sorts of things. And think of it this way. Ham radio was the original party line.
Yep. Ham radio came before CB.
Mm-hmm.
CB is its redhead stepchild.
Computers is the purplehead stepchild, because email packets and stuff was done on ham radio long before. And then some guy figured, I'm going to, the whole basis for packet delivery on ham radio is the basis for the computer processing.
You can thank the DoD for that one, because our basic computers, the entire internet system was designed and based by members of the Department of Defense.
And a certain very famous female actress in World War II who was a big ham radio freak, and she designed the military's radio frequency hopping program.
Yep. And yes, fishes and loaves, that is going to be the way, provided they work and people know how to use them, that will be the way of communicating long distance.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the kicker. So long as the internet is working, there's a variant of ham radio called D-Star. And D-Star is a digital, it's not analog. Ham radio is analog, but D-Star is totally digital, and they don't have repeaters, they have gateways. So you can take your radio, hit the local gateway, go into the internet, come out the gateway over in Britain, and you're broadcasting in Britain.
And it sounds like just like we are right now. Nice, crystal clear.
Yep. And you can even from your desktop put on your stuff and talk through D-Star from your desktop or laptop out over anywhere, D-Star is big in Japan. Utah, I think, was the first state covered 100% by D-Star gateways.
Well, see, I used to love talking skip. And I really, 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 really want to pick me up another Ranger RCI 2950 or 2970. Make sure it's been jumped, because there's a way to jump it so it can go from its 10 meter band into 11 meter band as well, which is what CB frequencies are, 11 meter. And there's a way to jump that. And before I want to make sure it's jumped. That way I can monitor. It's not someplace you want to talk if you like your freedom. It's called military frequencies.
Well, what you do is you just join the Mars.
No. We're talking civilians not allowed to talk on this channel, period. But the radio is capable of going there.
Yeah.
And once it's jumped, you can monitor. I really don't recommend you keying up on it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, those frequencies are silent. You can sit there and monitor them for 6-8 months and never hear a word. But that one time you hear something, it might be pretty impotent. And that's the reason I want to get that, is because if things were to go south for whatever reason, and the military was communicating, it will go down to them lower frequencies because they're easier to shield, so to speak. And so that would be one way of gathering major intel.
All right, I got to get to bed.
All righty. Sounds like everybody else is wanting to trail off too. So
yeah, we're down to 9 watching.
I show 10. Oh, I have people from overseas again, and we're not talking people that speak English.
From Singapore. Cool.
I wonder if, never mind. No, it couldn't be because of that email sent to that one TV channel.
Yep.
Hey, they went back to calling it what they've been calling it, but hey, for one show they mentioned the dragon, so
yeah, they called it the Red Dragon.
I'm going to take it for one show.
Yeah. Alrighty. I got to back out of here, guys. I got stuff to do. And I'll see you all Tuesday night.
Well, for those who don't know, Will is back in the hospital.
Oh.
He is back in the hospital, so pray for Will. I'm going to see if I can gather me enough brain cells to work tomorrow night, and I will put on a live in honor of him tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. So if you guys are bored and need something to do, I'll be back on tomorrow night or tonight at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So from that being said, I'm going to say what?
My Tactical Tuesday is going to be on the large meteor shower.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, astrology for Tuesday.
Yeah. So it's the meteor shower is peaking on Tuesday. Will has severe
COPD.
COPD. He's on oxygen all the time.
Just in time prepping.
Yeah. And he's he's been he's been pushing himself too hard for the last several months. And around Christmas time, he was in the hospital, and he just refuses to take it easy until he gets better, and he keeps pushing himself. So we love the guy, but sometimes I want to smack him back the head and say, "Hey,
wake up, smell the roses, sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee, get off the popsicles." I mean,
get off the popsicles.
We're joking, of course. Will.
Yeah, Will. He loves his popsicles.
Damn. So, with that being said, folks, be safe. God bless. Remember, if you do a Facebook or YouTube VR, post it in the video for the giveaway so I can give you the extra point. And if all you could do is just post, go ahead and post. I'll give you a point for that too. Be safe. God bless all.
Bye.